last time on Dragon Ball Z.
Alright, yep. Last time, when we last left our heroes, they had triumphantly stolen the AC unit from somebody's castle, uh, before ruining a girl's birthday party, and finally continued on their way.
I'm glad we're heroes.
We are
To be
the
fair,
greatest of
the little
heroes.
girl was a real bitch.
Yeah, but it's her party. She can die if she wants to.
If she wants to.
And by God, she did.
Yes, she did.
Technically, twice.
Alright, let me go all the way back up. No, in more serious notes, having staggered in from the blizzard of magic disrupting snow, you found a mansion haunted by the ghosts of its long dead occupants. After dealing with them, watching them reenact their own deaths, and allowing the aggressor in those activities to their final rest, you burned the house down and at last set off on your way.
Yeah.
You traveled for several more days, and over time, eventually the storm slowed and gradually vanished. As the storm passed, the disruption ability, or the disruption effect on your spells and arcane abilities, seemed to slowly return, or seemed to slowly fade. You had mentioned you wanted to grab some of the snow that was left behind from the storm before you go. How much did you want to grab? You said
One water
Matthias,
skin
you're
at
grabbing.
least.
You're going to fill up one of your water skins.
Yes.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think I have two. I'll have to double check my stuff.
Let me see what I got in my inventory. It's been a while.
Just be aware that while you're running at a half maximum capacity for water, if you wind up having to turn to your magical arcane disrupting water.
Nope, I only got one water skin. You're on your own.
What's the worst that could happen?
What literally just happened.
What's
Li-
the
that, what
worst
happened is
that
what could happen.
Well, I'll just borrow some of Karen's water because he doesn't use magic.
Doesn't he?
No, he
The
doesn't.
magic is inside him. You'll
No.
never understand.
No.
I'm not gonna be the one to cause harm to my spirit guides again. God damn it!
Fine, I'll be the one. I'll force feed you it.
I will use my very not magical strength to choke you out. We're the heroes. Remember that.
Yeah.
I was a hero once. It was awful.
And then you toss some young lady into lava, and everything was okay.
Listen, I don't need. I
Yeah,
don't,
and as I remember, that story ended pretty good. Like, it worked out. Everyone was happy.
listen. I
At
don't,
least in the delusion of my character's mind where he died.
listen. I don't need a water skin because I have the ability to use creation to bring, plant matter. A watermelon is basically just water in melon form. I'm good.
Anti-magic watermelon.
Uh,
I don't like it when Mike giggles like that.
Are we? There's gonna be snow elsewhere.
you have an easier time making one thing into another, i.e. making water into beer or something like that. That lateral change is a little easier. The more you manufacture from nothing, the weaker the spell overall gets.
But does it last?
Oh
as
yeah,
long?
it still works. It still works exactly
Okay.
as the spell,
So then it'll be
as
just
the spell
disappearing poop.
creation.
Moving along.
Moving right along. Um, so, after several more days of journey, you finally you stood atop the crest of a mountain and looked down over a sharp drop of the landscape and then a vast, sweeping, open expanse of land. You have at last reached the chill sweet tundra, the last leg of your journey. Looking down at the map, there's no other landmarks. The next location, you'll be heading directly for it, is the Sanctum of Torvald of the North.
Sweet.
Nice.
Excellent.
And they went. Without much need for heavy supplies and having had your packs recently restocked, you're doing fairly well on supplies overall. Here's a good question. You were provided rather fantastic rations by the by Aveligos before you left. Over the days, you've had time to sort of inspect those at great length. Is anyone going to look at them too hard? Honest question.
I will investigate. No, wait. I know what you're doing. I know.
No,
if
do
I-
you want to like?
I know.
There's reason to suspect that they aren't what it looks like they
I
are.
know,
what
and
it
if I
tastes like
if I
they are.
disbelieve them and they're gone, I won't be able to eat them. I know what you're doing, but yes, I'm going to investigate.
Are you actually?
Yes.
Okay.
Because
At
she
this
gave them
point,
to me
no,
so
I'm
I can
not.
practice magic. So I want to know everything about them in case I want to use my creation ability on them. So
Okay.
so-
Okay, so you spend the time during the trip using attempting to make whatever it is that she actually gave you into something palatable. So give me an intelligence check to see if you can figure out what it is.
just a regular intelligence check.
This would be investigation, sorry.
Net one. Ooh, not bad.
Jake, it's people. Soylent Green is people. Now make it palatable and eat it.
I mean, what kind of people? I mean,
No, the elegantly wrapped packages of it looks like a sort of like a large floral, like a frond or an edible leaf, wrapped up in a kind of twine. Inside housed a store of various nuts, berries, and it looks like some kind of a sugar or a sweet substance that binds it all together into a series of small bars. In addition to several large strips of what looks to be a kind of a neatly dried meat of some kind or another. Having seen through it, it is a frozen shank of what looks to be goat, and some dried, possibly dead leaves.
good. She did tell me it was raw.
As in, you don't think that it's toxic or poisonous, but you suddenly don't want that in your mouth quite as much.
Well, I mean, I can cook it and then I can flavor it however I want with prestidigitation, because I'm a goddamn
Yeah,
wizard.
you can. But over the coming days, you have a chance to try out your magic. Give me an Arcana and what would a culinary check be? Intelligence or wisdom? You could do both.
I don't have the proficiency in the tools.
That's okay. In that case, just give me an unskilled intelligence and an Arcana check.
Arcana first. Intelligence.
Nice.
Not bad at all. Okay. What you manufacture on your first go is abhorrent to look, but it actually tastes a bit better. You focused too heavily on the flavor profile, and you got that down. But instead of having like the neat appearance of neatly dried strips of meat, it has the appearance of neatly dried strips blended with raw goat, which kind of makes it look like bubbly and sickly. But it tastes okay.
I mean, that's all. I mean, the best
you-
delicacies look disgusting but taste disgusting.
The following couple of days yield slightly better results. That was just to get where your baseline was.
All right.
Regardless, after several days travel, you've got maybe about another 4 or 5 days worth of rations. But is there anything you want to do before you leave the mountains?
Does anyone know
This
what's in,
is true.
Does anyone know what's in a survivor's kit?
Off the top of my head, no.
Because I'm looking in the DM or the player's handbook and I'm not finding anything. Because I'm assuming that is a water skin. Because I have an explorer's pack which has one. This one doesn't tell me what's in it. Oh, there we go. Found a...
You find it?
No. I found the packs, but it doesn't fucking have survivor's pack.
I don't think a survivor's pack's a thing.
It's not.
Then why the hell is it in my fucking inventory?
I don't know.
Are you sure you don't mean like an explorer's pack or something?
No, survival kit. Sorry. It says survivor's kit. 5 days of rations. That's all it says inside of it. Is that what you gave me? I don't think I typed that in there, though.
I don't know. I genuinely don't know what a survivor's kit is.
Yeah, Yeah, I have no idea what this is. I'm Googling it. I'm not getting anything, man.
Maybe you're high.
I have no idea. Is it something you gave me a long time ago and we all forgot about it?
Maybe.
That seems to happen a lot, so probably.
I mean, checking the compendium, there's the only thing that has survivor in it is the fighter survivor. But
Hey, I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give up.
I'm
But
gonna
are
hurt
you a believer?
No, I have no belief.
Well, you should see your face. It might help.
Um. Okay. Regardless, you continue sort of your movement down the mountain and into the sort of the windswept tundra below. Uh, the tundra itself is vastly featureless. The only real landmarks being enormous towering spikes of ice, seemingly thrust up. The hunting and attempting to forage for food has become somewhat more difficult here. On the mountain terrain, you at least have the opportunity of getting a high vantage point and surveying all around you in the hopes of finding a yak or a herd of beasts of some kind migrating through. Whereas out here, the completely flat terrain means sneaking up on things is a lot harder. Still, that is not nearly as bad as the biting wind that whips across the plains pretty much all the time, changing directions almost constantly.
Do we
You've
have
gone
any animal
even
fat with
further
us?
north. The origin of the wind whipping through the mountains is very clearly this direction. Still, you press on. You find yourselves, after all this time in the ice and cold, very, very much welcoming your return to the shelter of the protected dome Matthias conjures up each night. Particularly since these are areas where you can set the dome on a rocky outcropping and actually put your back to the ground instead of another thick chunk of permafrost.
I have a bedroll.
Waking up wet every morning.
I have a bedroll.
a soggy bedroll.
Yes.
Sure,
No,
so-
as in, it's not. You don't wake up like soaked through. You wake up and the back of your bedroll is a wet mess. Just from where the gradual heat of the evening put just enough heat down to melt a little bit of the
Well,
snow.
then maybe I should just set my bedroll on fire.
It really is the only option available to you. Do me a favor. Which one of you takes point? You guys alternate? You've seen, as you've walked through this terrain, you've had on many occasions, you found yourself being stalked by packs of wolves, or occasionally approached by large bears, probably about 3 or 4 foot taller than any bear you've seen in your life.
Oh,
Bears,
you
Normal
you
approach
say?
to dealing with the wildland, or dealing with some of the wildland like beasts.
Talk with
Hey, what's up, man? As in, I assume it's going to be either Karen or Amber Cup on. Well, actually, no, Voltus. So I assume it's going to. Who is on watch? Anyone of you can do it.
I would probably be the first one to volunteer for it, just since this is pretty much my journey.
Okay.
and you bloodthirsty.
Yeah.
Hey,
Doesn't
I will
survival
happily wrestle
Listen,
a pack of wolves
Listen,
or a
asshole, I
bear.
only got one water skin. I gotta fill the gap somewhere.
He's just sitting up at night like, sure hope no bandits show up. I'd be really screwed.
Damn it, Karen! There's no bandits up here. No one lives up here.
Just sitting over here with all my coin purses hanging out.
every
I'm
new
so
every,
heavy. I almost considered leaving them behind.
every new
but I'm
animal
getting
is just a
sleepy.
new.
Surely
every-
wouldn't hurt anybody if I slept through my watch. All right, so in general, in that case, Karen,
you
what
can
is
tell
your
me what you wanted.
fronted by a beast?
Call for Amber Cup.
That depends. What?
First up, a 15-foot tall on its hind legs grizzly bear.
Hi, you're a big boy, aren't you? Let me double check something real quick.
So I'm gonna pick him up and throw him out of sight.
No, when it comes to bears, I think I would try a more live and let live approach.
Bear hug competition.
But that all kind of depends on a couple things. Let me double check something on my primal path here.
I'm
How
gonna post
many
this picture of this
handling-
prehistoric animal, the short-faced bear. Somebody built a nice scale model.
I can only. It's right. It's a ritual. It still needs 10 minutes.
I just look at the bear. Hey, shut up a second.
Theoretically, this could be actually. No, when it comes to bears, I would try to just kind of goad it away unless it's actively hostile.
Amber
Okay.
could grunt at it.
You have all right. If, you have experience, much like most of the party, in dealing with the more bestial denizens of the uninhabited regions.
If
Um,
it's
you
if it's not hostile and it's just kind of milling around looking for food, if I have 10 minutes, I will happily try to just talk with it and just talk with it to go away. Maybe give it some of my rations, just piss off.
Okay. Yeah, you have. Give me an animal handling.
This is actually the first time I had a reason to use this, and I'm good at them theoretically.
Nat one.
Natural
Nat
one. You're gonna have to punch out
Wow.
that bear.
We found
I'm
something you're
good.
good at.
Sexually.
I'm good at animals.
That's almost a crit.
What'd you roll? It didn't show up. My
25.
locking up. 25. Holy hell. Okay. It as you
This is
it
fitting.
starts
This is
sniffing
fitting.
around the camp and it comes into it comes into range of the outside of the dome. You're kind of largely safe inside, but this is not the first time you've had to deal with a 15-foot tall grizzly bear, apparently. So you get up to your feet, kind of like pull the blanket off your shoulders, stand up, and walk out. And just easy, friend. You toss him a small chunk of the bit of jerky that you were gnawing on during your watch. And before you basically tell him that there's no other food here, go elsewhere. It lets out a woof and turns around and gradually walks off in that way that bears do, shaking their ass a little too much. Okay. It's not jerky, it's raw shanks of frozen fucking goat.
I
Don't
think
waste
it's
that.
jerky. That's all that matters.
Hey, and the bear doesn't give a shit. I just picture the bear looks at it and goes, you know what this is, right? No? Alright, whatever.
Wait, give us some of the water. Just do it.
No.
The alcohol water.
Actually,
not getting
there
any-
is something. There is something that you haven't really been too exposed to, is what happens when you start introducing these things to people. Let's look at them.
What? Read that?
What?
These. Okay, never mind. We'll deal with that when we get to it. Okay. On later or on other occasions, you've been walking. Your party's been moving down through. Well, I can't give you a landmark. More vast, open nothing. You hear a faint howl in the distance that gradually gets closer. It's not long before eventually you see a pack of dire wolves. Looks to be 5 or 6 of them moving in approximately just slightly off from the direction that you're going. They're approaching, and your initial read on them is hostile. You are food.
Amber Cup, do your
Garen.
thing.
Oh, Amber Cup, you're also everyone's awake right now, so everyone sees this.
Shake your
I'm
butt.
gonna look
at
at I'm gonna look at Amber Cup and say, "Do you think you can speak with them a little bit? Tell them to go away, or you want me to just line up a shot for you?"
Well, I've still got to speak with him.
Well, Karen
'Cause
and
I
Ralph, if you
mean-
group them up, so run in the middle of them.
Because I know Amber Cup's talked away a group of wolves before, so
Not dire wolves though.
true.
Yeah, this is a dire situation.
Oh, yeah, does that work with dire wolves, or are they different?
Do I? Know
I
what
throw
dire wolves are?
Matthias to the pack.
Dire wolves are a little bit more. They have less reason to be skittish. which makes them a lot more confident when it comes to taking down their prey.
No, I just mean the speak with animals. They count as animals, or are they like magical beasts or anything like that?
Dire wolves are just larger versions of the same wolves you normally deal with.
You can try and tell them to fuck off while firing out lightning.
Okay.
I mean, I've got speak with animals, and Derek has the other thing. What do you guys want to?
Okay, well,
Get rid of
in this
dancing
case, it
animals.
looks like Derek is going to take the aggressive approach on this one. Derek, Amber Cup deals with animals that approach a little differently. You leap out and start belting out bestial sounds, throw up the bow and conjure lightning, and just start volleying thunderbolts all over the area. They're done. Nope. You don't actually even have to hit them. Just firing in the region, they let out yelps and yips and just gradually skitter away.
Good going, Thor.
I love this bow.
As you continue moving, you move up around the next icy ridge, and it looks like to your right you see a big collection of paw prints. It looks like there was a second collection of wolves ready to rush in if combat had started. So
Damn it, could have ate all of them.
your assessment of the wolves is, well, they're a little smarter, if nothing else. They've got a better grip on tactics. And my internet is still fucking dying. Holy hell, my computer needs fucking help. Alright, at this point, fast to pull up what happens next on my phone. Hold on.
We all die. The end.
D&D is trying so hard.
It really is.
No, it's my computer. It's been dying. Normally I rebuild my computer, full wipe on the hard drive, and reinstall everything every couple of years. But I have not done that with this one in 6 or 7.
Probably doesn't help that you've been moving around a lot the past decade.
Uh-huh. Okay. At long last, you look down at the map and you see where you are on the map, or the direction you've been going, and the small little icicle spire that represents Torvald of the North's ice sanctum. You approach what appears to be several large outcroppings of the same bladed spiked ice sheets, but pulled over into almost a canopy, forming points all across the top, but leaving small gaps for doors and to get inside.
Weird.
Also, the thing that locked up my computer for this entire time, I was trying to find the video of Apache Chief picking up the bear and just putting it.
Oh, I was going to tell you to find that.
They fucked up the perspective though, so it doesn't.
No, they didn't fuck that up. That was intentional.
It just looks so ridiculous.
Yes, it is.
Anyway, you finally approach. There looks to be a small entranceway, and looking down, there's footprints in the snow, and recent ones.
Seems like it's been made by a humanoid boot, or am I looking at some kind of dire knoll here or some shit?
It was made by a bare human foot.
Ah,
So what
I
you're
know
saying is I need to get out my
terrifying.
magnifying glass and investigate it, like Sherlock Holmes.
Okay.
I don't have a magnifying glass, but I can investigate if needed.
Slam dunk you.
I want you to crit this.
I want you to nat 1 this. Well, he's a size 3 somehow.
I can't do either of those things.
Yep, that's it. I don't know what you want to know. It's a fucking footprint.
Huh? Whose footprints are these?
Someone's.
Someone
That's all
punches
I
you in
know.
the face and then walks away, but unfortunately, after you stop finding his footprints, you assume he left. Also, you can't remember anything about him to report in, so you opt to just continue your patrol.
Alright, I think we should go, guys. Maybe we should go back to the... There's nothing here.
Guys, let's just go home.
It's cold.
Yeah, I would say this. Is it fair to assume that everyone here is a pretty rugged... well, Matthias not quite so much. Matthias is a little more fond of creature comforts,
Yeah,
Sounds about right.
I would assume. Is that correct?
that is correct.
Okay, Matthias, I think it's safe to say you want to go home.
No, I'm here for my friends. Like, I'm not comfortable. Like,
Okay.
he can deal with the cold since he lives in a cold climate, but this is a little beyond that.
That's right. So this is not your first time in a... okay, never mind. Everyone here has got pretty decent weather
He
resistance.
was born in Frostdale.
All right, so you're standing outside of the fortress. Or
Hopefully this one's
Sanctum.
real.
Do you want me to
Go
investigate
inside,
that?
you see a lot of blue people. Guard on top of there. State your name and business.
We
Pick up
shoot
the
him, but it's actually a
Oh,
real
no.
guy.
You've been walking on a treadmill for days.
Fucking
Probably
D&D.
deserve this.
Probably.
I prod Karen. This is your journey, friend. So maybe Andy should go, or maybe Valthus should go with you because he's a druid.
That might help, actually. Druids are pretty not fond of visitors, I imagine.
I guess you
Yeah.
could see the lone
Usually for the
wolves,
most
eh?
part.
I,
Yeah, let's go.
I elbow
Alright.
nudge after the lone wolf joke because he's occasionally a wolf.
Okay, Karen and Volthus, you make your way up to the front and step down through the gap into the sanctum. Inside, you see, well, you happen to know that it's likely human looking down at the feet. Those are
my.
definitely bare human feet sticking out of the bottom of what appears to be sort of loosely tied skins, heaped up in a giant pile and frosted over. There's a clanging of icicles every time he moves. And you can see an ancient withered hand reaching out, and it looks to be he looks to be making a small pile of snow over in one corner from what you can tell at this angle. He's got his back to long, scraggly hair frozen to the pelts on his back. He doesn't seem to respond immediately when you walk in. You're standing at the door.
Huh. I
Fuck. I knew someone. I knew someone was gonna do it.
out of character, does this seem like it's another one of like purple plant incidents happening that we're just in the middle of here? Or, he's making a snowy
He's
real
making
doll.
kits in the snow.
Oh,
I don't want to be here anymore.
why are druids like this?
Anyway,
I'm
okay,
just-
no,
I'm
he
just
looks like
gonna
he's just
call
going
out
about
to
his
him.
business. He just weirdly hasn't lifted his head up.
I'm gonna whisper to Karen. Does this look like your guy?
You tell me. Does it look like a northern druid to you?
I mean, he looks like a druid. I guess, yeah. But we haven't seen his face yet, right?
No, you're not sure if you recognize him if you had.
Yeah.
Just Torvald of the North.
Yeah, Karen doesn't even know what this guy's supposed to look like.
I just know the name and occupation, nothing else.
You could try saying the name. Oh wait, I'm not there. Never mind. Wait, am I there? I don't know.
Yeah,
Oh man, Karen's profile picture has a fucking black pixel on it, and it really scared me that my brand new laptop had a dead pixel.
Ha! I'm sorry.
All right, so which one of you guys is gonna? You could both do it. Karen, it's your quest, and you're one of the. You're not of the circle yet, but your mentor is Glade, so that gives you some credit.
I'm gonna speak up. Call out. Old one. Are you the one called Torvald?
He goes, yes, one. Just a minute. He stands up, turns around slowly, revealing a long, crooked, hooked nose. It looks as though it was broken twice in the same direction, and then never quite reset.
Ow.
On almost every end of his now well overgrown beard, more icicles clang and jangle together. His skin is almost like a pale blue by itself, but he doesn't seem to be acknowledging the cold around him. Instead, he looks at you, turns with sort of a gentle smile on his face, that switches rapidly to absolute terror, and he lets out a ah!
Is that what he said?
That was fantastic timing on my part. Sorry about that.
Hmm.
Did you see the mask? His old mask?
Wait, what?
Is he looking at me and doing that, or is he looking at the animal nightmare mask that Valthus is wearing?
All
Oh,
right.
neither. He just looked at you, both of you, and he let out a yell. After a moment, he calms down and goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't expecting 2 legs up here. Why, yes, I am Torvald. Who are you?
I'm Karan of the Junarok, old one. Sorry for startling you.
I
I don't need the old man to have a heart attack on me.
He gives you a nod and goes, Karan, was it? Oh,
Yes.
welcome. And you, son.
I am Walthus of the Druid Circle.
Alphys. I have heard that name.
Where have I
Where have I heard that?
You have?
He ceases moving entirely. Just, eye sort of vaguely fixed off in the distance.
Fucking druids.
Mr.
Ah,
Torvald,
ah,
sir.
Nope. It's gone. What circle are you, do you aspire for?
Aspire 4?
Aspire to.
Like, well,
What circle are you?
are you?
I'm in a circle. Aspire to would mean I'm trying to get to it, right? Trying to become part of it. You mean prescribe to? Well, that's not the word.
He's
Ascribe
for,
to?
of each circle, there's essentially the eldest druid is the one of the circle. It's sort of their council of elders.
So I'm from Glade's circle then.
Okay.
Is that what he's looking for?
Do you actually you pick a circle when you're a druid, right?
Yeah, the circle of the land, or the forest, whichever it was.
Yeah, because there's different.
Oh, right. There's the circle of the land, and then it has its subsets of forest. I had forest, yeah.
Oh, okay. There we go.
God,
So
it's
that's
been forever since I even opened that book.
Actually, I'm curious. Did you comment on? Well, I'm of the circle of the.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because like it sounded like he was asking if I was trying to become part of a circle.
Yeah.
But no, I'm actually of the circle.
And he goes. He smiles faintly and says, "That makes you one of Glade's."
Yes, that's right. You know Glade?
Says, yes, in fact. How is Glade? Up to his usual unseemly behaviors?
Yes, he's a bit odd.
I grin.
Oh dear. What do you do now?
Peeping on some flowers.
Well, he's well,
Yeah, but didn't you guys else come in?
I'm not sure
I guess
when
we
the
would
last
after
time you
we-
met Glade was, or what he was up to when you knew him, but now he talks to plants and gets a little lost in it. He what other odd stuff have we seen him do? It's been forever. Sorry.
The last time we saw him, he was partially sunk 6 inches into the earth, just laying there.
Oh.
Right.
Oh dear.
Why is he like this?
He goes, yes, that sounds about right. Well, I'm glad he has someone check in on him every now and again. I fear he'd drop off the face of the earth given the opportunity. Well, now that I know you, now that I know from where you've came, why? What brings you so far north? Considering the circle of the Arctic?
Well, I'll look at Karen and say it's more Karen's reason to be up here.
Mm-hmm.
We're here for support.
I've come with some more of my friends. We've been told that you have knowledge of my people, the Junarok, the bear's blood, that you might know more of their ultimate fate. I'm trying to seek out survivors, or at least closure.
He frowns. He goes, "Oh, of your complexion, I would have thought I would have recognized I do not recall you from among their numbers.
I was exiled at a young age. Bad omen.
His frown deepens. Says, let's talk. Your others, the other two legs up outside. Bring them in. It's cold outside.
Yeah, it
You
is.
can't help but notice that it's actually not warmer at all in here.
Ooh, how confused would he be if we just came, we're both polymorphed? With 6 legs.
And while we're out there, we make ourselves look like a horse, and it was actually 2 pairs.
You make yourself into 2 halves of a horse.
Here. Ha! Joke's on you, there's no more 2 legs out here.
He walks up and saws you in half. Now there is. All right. He moves over and eventually, the little snow pile he had in front of him, he places a hand on each side, claps together, or moves his hands together twice, and then takes the little snow pile, and then sits on it. He says, I remember your clansman, Karen. The strongest 2 legs I've ever seen. It was said that even the weakest of their number could lift a full-grown manticore over their head. It was truly a great loss.
Yes, there was not much love left, but they were my blood. Hearing the news was beyond awful.
But this was many years ago. What is it
Decades.
you're seeking now?
Anything and everything. I've searched for years, hunted down rumors, tried to lure in adventurers, trying to seek relics of my people.
He looks at your companions.
What?
Karen says, I've tried everything, hunting down clues, following leads, luring in adventurers.
I'm an adventurer.
Um,
I take an arrow to the
In
knee.
his own mind, he mostly meant like fighters coming to the Colosseum. But yeah,
Yeah.
his friends would also count in this case.
Damn it, I hate
says-
when barbarians catfish me.
Hey man, we want to be an adventuring party? Yeah, it'll be a total split. We'll all get to do what we want.
It's worse when the druids catfish you because you show up and they're a catfish.
God damn it! God damn it!
You said it too fast. I couldn't stop him.
All right. He says, "You're looking." Yeah, he says you're looking for something. You found leads, but you don't know who did it. Is that all? You're trying to find who or what was responsible.
As well as the location of one of our relics. It's called the Weeping Maiden. It's a source of healing for our people, and we were in charge of keeping it safe.
He puts a thoughtful hand to his
Penis.
the bits of beard. As he kind of runs his hand through them, scratching, you can actually see bits of beard frozen and crack and fall to the ground in front of him. After several long moments, he says, I did not see the creature that wiped out your clansmen. I arrived some time after.
Creature.
However, I do have some memories that might help you. While investigating the carnage, several 2-legs approached from the woods. They
He
appeared
has my full attention.
Wait,
They
wait. Was
appeared
it
to
an
be-
elf with an eye patch?
He looks at you, kind of like an eyebrow raised.
Wait, does Matthias know that? Yeah, because
They had. I think he goes. Well, I'm trying to think what he would remember. How long ago was this? How many years was this?
Oh god, like in my head I think Karan was still around like maybe 16 or so when this happened, and he's I think fucking shit, how old am I now?
did he say he was like 30 something?
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's like 36
Okay, yeah.
right now.
So it's, I mean, for druids, it's, he goes, I confess I'm not as good with the differentiating qualities of two legs as I
What
once
about?
was.
Well, he may have been on a
To be
fancy
honest,
horse.
I did not see four legs.
All right,
A horse. Yes, a horse.
a nightmare.
I did not see a horse.
You see a nightmare.
But they were tall, and
Elves are tall.
they wore the dried skins of animals, pressed and stitched, and
So leather armor.
they carried weapons of steel and iron, and they spoke the language of brigands and barbarians. Not of your kind, of course, of those without culture and those without family. Lost souls bent on destruction.
Yeah, that sounds like Metzger's group. Because you mentioned a creature, and that's kind of what they seek out sometimes and sell to the highest bidder.
Metzger's group, they were made of creatures.
Yeah.
He says,
And
Perhaps
Metzger
I
did
can help
mention
you.
that he was there after the carnage. I think he
says
did anyway.
if you are seeking this two legs, perhaps I can help you find him. My memory is faded, but the land remembers all.
Last time I checked, he was in an alternate dimension. Or another universe.
You.
Says, oh dear. Well, then let us hope that is not who you're looking for.
Agree.
If Metzger is the one, that really muddles things up.
Why?
Yeah, when he mentioned creature, obviously that would interest Metzger.
This thing
Wow, he's got
exists. He
He's
wants
got a
it.
crack team of first responders.
Yeah, I mean, he had the red slot. He
He did have the red slot.
He's got a
whichever
red
knows.
slot. He's got his fucking illithid buddy.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're really buddies anymore, though.
No.
At the time, they might have
Alright.
been.
So he says,
He sold.
we
like,
will search
kobolds and
if
stuff.
you're if this two legs or the two legs present at this two legs you refer to, or the two legs that I saw are in fact still among or walking among us on this plane, we will see if the land remembers them.
Any
looks
help could be
over-
appreciated. Thank you.
He looks over at you, Volthus, and he says, "Would you care to join me? Are you familiar with this ritual?"
Am I familiar with the rituals? No.
No, this is this would be a little closer to the idea of communing with. You are nowhere near where Karen's clan was. You are miles and miles and miles, months and months of journey away from where Karen's clan was eliminated. You can connect with the kind of like the local environment around you, but what he's talking about is literally like questioning the planet.
Really deep stuff.
Yeah.
No, but Valdis would totally have an interest in seeing it or trying to learn about it,
Okay.
just by being curious of that sort of thing.
In that case, he says, he explains it to you like this. He says, a part of this, I learned this from the Circle Center, and you know this character as the, essentially the Elder Druid that you've never met or even seen, but he's the Druid that even the Elder Druids of each circle ultimately commune with.
So is he like the originator of the druid lifestyle in the
No
thing?
fucking clue.
We don't know how old he is or anything either.
No.
Oh boy.
But you know that of everyone you've ever seen,
each of them refer to him the way you would refer to your master.
Right. So so this is a big deal to possibly be involved with this guy and in contact with him. So, you know,
Yeah. He says,
butterflies in the stomach and all.
polymorph right now. This is not. Oh, you cast insect swarm. Just vomiting out butterflies. All right. Goddamn druid puns. No, he says. He looks at you and he says, "I will explain. This was taught to me by the by the circle center. In order to speak, in order to speak to the plane, to speak to all of the natural world, you must know and understand all of the circles. To be of all of them for that one moment. For your part, he instructs you to concentrate on essentially every part that you know about your circle, everything about the different types of life within it. And in doing so, you will help share the weight of him bearing all of the circles all at once. You will be one of the links in that chain.
Oh wow.
He says, "Are you ready?"
I think so.
All right. I will describe what you experience momentarily. He reaches down, and you're sort of expecting sort of a very drawn out, like, this is a ritual of ridiculous magnitude. But rather than actually preparing any exotic ingredients or really pulling together any sort of advanced methodologies, he reaches down and pushes aside 2 handfuls of ice and snow, digging down maybe about 6 inches, until he reaches a small underlayer of cracked rock, and sticking up between it is a small, mostly brown, broken blade of glass, blade of grass. It looks like some of the sort of the tundra grass that grows up here sometimes. He instructs you to take a position as though you would be one of several at the edges of a circle, while he takes his point in the middle. He reaches down, puts exactly 2 fingers on the on either side of the small growing plant, and shuts his eyes. Several long moments later, the rest of you see him open his eyes again. Their color has been replaced by a solid, vibrant, pupilless, glowing green. His voice lacks the age, now has a more ethereal quality, and he speaks in more direct tones, announcing that, kind of stretching up and turning to face you. He says, "The 2 legs you seek is in the city of dark stones. Find the man of strange magics unlike anything known in this world. The 2 legs has stolen from the dead tribe, hewn stone made of great value to 2 legs." He blinks several times, and then falls backwards, landing in a big soft heap of powdery snow. He shakes his head, sits up, and his eyes appear to return to normal. And he frowns slightly. He goes, "That's less than helpful. Sorry. Nature doesn't see too well into cities. Not really enough life in them, you know? He stops to think for a second.
Cities.
Volfus, let me explain what you just experienced.
The weight of the world jammed directly up your anus.
Yeah, there's a lot of existing comparisons in current works of fiction. There's like Seeing the Truth in Fullmetal Alchemist. There's really anytime that idea of like glimpsing eternity. This isn't like that. Imagine, if you will, part of what you saw was more like a feeling. You watched something really incredible happen. In the same way, imagine if you had a... have you ever seen those cameras that zoom in really, 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 really far? And it's slow, like into something like an ant or something like that, and it slowly pulls out, and the ant gets smaller, and you see that the ant is sitting on a pile of dirt. You can see the dirt in the grass, and then that pulls out, and you can see the grass in the field, and the herds of animals and things
Like the end of Men in Black.
Yeah, where it starts really small and starts pulling out. Now imagine you weren't losing resolution as the camera pulled out.
Oh, jeez.
You're not pulling useful information, but rather you're taking in the spectrum of it. And as part of the circle, being outside it, what you gained was the big picture perspective. While it looks like Torvald in the middle was able to sort of immerse in the center and take it all in and guide and flow for the direction that it went. As you sat and watched, you caught glimpses of places, people. At a distance that feels like miles above the earth, you could see individuals you recognize from Breckenridge going about their daily lives. What's more, you didn't see their lives as a series of what they're doing right now. You were seeing it as a pathway. The roads they walked, you would see them at all points in a journey for the entirety of that journey, all playing out simultaneously. Useful information? Give me a wisdom save.
Wisdom save.
Wisdom save.
Crit. Ooh, nice.
Okay.
Well done.
Doesn't mind control.
Experience was you have the sneaking suspicion that you've always had sort of a greater gift for this than most. Glade was never terribly free with the compliments, but it was very clear that you've always had a natural talent for this. Not the least of reasons because you're a player and have player stats, but you have the feeling that would have fucked you up if you were not ready for that. Mostly because it's not just so much processing the bulk of the information, which you're not really doing. It's more akin to losing yourself in the depth and complexity. In an idea that your perspectives would suddenly take in so much information you wouldn't know who you were anymore. You kind of shake it off after a minute. But you get the feeling that was definitely playing with magic that's... Okay, yep, that happened. Nonetheless, the effect that it had was real enough. You're able to sort of touch into that memory at the same time that Torvald did. And you can see the figures. You could see them not how you see people now, looking at them as when you see someone in recognizable qualities, their nose, their mouth, things about them that make them unique. You see them as vague shapes, the way the natural world would see them. You see them as collections of meat and movement and life. You see them as blotches of colors. And you watch them move as a small group, collect with others, and gradually go about their lives. And as sort of the visions move forward and more forward, eventually, you see the figures approach and enter a black void with a towering black spire in the middle. You are stunned for several rounds. We'll get back to you.
Awesome.
All right. Torvald blinks. There, he blinks again. After thinking, he goes, I know. Take Skitter here. And he throws out an arm. From one of the layers of hewn animal skins, out skitters a white and blue ferret. It skitters out of his robes and runs across and out onto his outstretched hands. He says, I imagine the place you seek is within civilized lands. Take Skitter with you. Now that we've communed, he'll know the scent of these two legs you're seeking.
I love him already. Huh.
Ferrets are adorable.
They're so sneaky.
Says,
Keep them away
it'll
from
be up to
outlets.
you
They
to
try
find
kill
this
themselves.
city of dark stones. I know much, but I confess it's been some time since I've walked among the civilized folk.
City of dark stones that are valuable to people.
Oh no, he said the Two Legs has stolen from the dead tribe a hewn stone of great value to Two Legs.
Oh, all right. I'll say, are we looking for fucking El Dorado? Awesome, I'm in.
Give me if that was vague or unclear, pitch me some intelligence checks. I can try to sum up or give you guys your best guess.
What's that?
What?
Karen.
Ian's interpretation of
Karen,
it.
interpretation. Give me an intelligence check.
Everyone?
No, just Karen.
Okay.
You're gonna have to spend the rest of the day explaining to Karen that you are not, in fact, going to El Dorado. All right. Let's chalk this up to not less Karen having not the best intelligence, and let's just chalk this up to Karen. This is the first solid lead you've had on this in fucking over a decade, and it's only a piece of it, but this is something, and this is something big. You've got a lead, and you've got a way to track him. As
Yes.
far as the city of Darkstone, what that means is to guess this on the spot that's up to everyone else. Everyone can make intelligence checks here to give this a try.
I'm gonna look just directly at Matthias. Okay.
That was well timed. Darkstone. Well, I wonder what Matthias. He has the biggest shit-eating grin on his face. Just
Well, I'm not even gonna roll because he's got it, but also I was gonna say that I'm too stunned and locked
that's a good point. Yes,
to speak and just babble and drool.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
Out of
okay.
everyone here, Matthias had the best chance of figuring it out, and by God, he pulled.
Actually, wait a minute. That's a good point. Matthias, you get a chance to dictate how this goes. You have right as soon as they're like, but it's like an idea of like the city of Darkstone. I don't know what that means. You'll have to figure that out on yourself. And all at once, everyone just turns and looks at you. Matthias, what's your response? Blurt it out.
Don't look at me. I'm a barbarian.
All right.
Well, obviously, like you said, shit-eating grins. Like, I know something you need. But then I tell them everything, and they have to listen to all of it.
Matthias, are you proficient in history?
Yes, I am.
That's what I thought. So your roll was a 29. He said,
What's your fucking problem?
you mean Towerdale. And your 29 of history, or your 29 in history, gets you. Towerdale was formerly a watch post to the inner cities back during the earliest days of development. It helped keep the gradually pushed back wildlands at bay, while give advance warning towards the big beasties that occasionally came towards the largely newfounded civilized lands. Over time, eventually the wildlands was pushed back so far that the military structure was long since abandoned, but it did not stop the travelers and merchants who used to stop there from using it as a landmark. However, the military fortifications suddenly made it a a perfect home for various mercs, brigands, and all kinds of ne'er-do-wells and cut purses, and anybody who was willing to commit violence or thievery in exchange for coin. It's a shabby, ramshackle town if there ever was one. Any other fucking questions?
Would you call it a
Census
hive
date?
of scum and villainy?
Yes.
As a person who came from Frostdale, I try to read up on all the Dales.
Fuck you. You're a Dale enthusiast.
Yeah.
God damn it. All right.
So where the hell is this?
Frostdale is located not
Latitude
too far.
49.
It's maybe a day's ride from the inner cities.
You mean
Oh.
Towerdale? Or do you
Wait,
mean Frostdale, where Matthias was born?
No, Frostdale is on the other side. It's north of the Barrack Desert across the Great Sea.
yeah,
Okay.
it's nuts. But I can teleport us to the inner cities.
Oh, thank God.
But I'd appreciate it if somebody gave me
D
the
Magic
money.
Snow, you're walking.
Oh,
Guys, I wrote 2 adventures. You can't do that.
I guess if the almighty DM says we should go die in a
I
fucking
have a weird feeling
snowbank.
God will be mad if we teleport so much.
But when I get a chance, I'd probably like to pull the guys aside and just tell them my assumptions about who has it. Obviously, I said that I think that Metzger has it because he's already said that he was there after the people were killed.
Yeah, the fact that he's been referenced twice now is highly suspicious.
And obviously, Amber Cup needs to know that is a possibility because
Okay.
Or you could do what every character in every movie has ever done and say, "No, we shouldn't tell her. Not until we need to, you know."
Good
Just
luck
I don't
not
want to
telling
accidentally
me.
make her upset. What?
Good luck not telling me.
that's true. I think it and you hear it.
Stop talking. Oh wait, yeah, it's 'cause her fucking perception is as good as his fucking history.
And also, you're right. Matthias doesn't stop talking. Just leave her out of the ritual so we can telepathically communicate.
I thought you meant the ritual to tell you guys back home. I'm like, what the fuck is your problem?
I will find you.
It's for the best. This is the part where we try to help you by leaving you out of it, and then we die, and then you have to avenge us.
What fucking genre is this?
Bad.
All right.
D&D.
So you say you can teleport. You know, this conversation, I assume, is happening.
Mhm.
Just an exchange between you. Torvald says, really? That's impressive magics. Who are you?
Oh, no.
Lord Captain Matthias Emberwind. Who?
I mean, that's fine. I'm Doctor Captain.
All right, I'm a
Mega
doctor too.
priest.
Doctor Lord Captain Emberwind or Matthias Emberwind.
I thought, Mike, I thought you were going to say I'm Dr. Captain Man. Like it's a superhero title too.
That's a reverend on there.
Yeah, right.
Conqueror of the Snow
That's why.
Mountains.
Okay.
Near acceptor
There
of
is
the quest to kill
there's
dragon.
such a thing in this era as reciting your titles. Have any of you guys read the Icewind Dale continuation of the Drizzt books?
Some of them, yeah, some of them.
I'm sure
There's a
Matthias has
crystal
because
shard.
it's a Dale.
Oh my god. Send me that.
There's a bit with one of the barbarian characters that later joins Drizzt in his party, and how they introduce themselves among
Oh
the
yeah,
barbarian
I do remember
tribes.
that. That is in Crystal Shard.
Yeah. How they introduce themselves is they announce their achievements as titles, like almost like badges. And so, like how he, in order to effectively challenge like the chieftain of his tribe, he approaches and says, like the chieftain comes up and lists his vast length of like orc slaughter or all kinds of like the ridiculous like he who climbed the great mountains, or he who survived the night in the in the pit of salty waters, like whatever. You get the point. The guy, this new barbarian comes up and he lists he's like I'm so and so of the tribe so and so, hero of this battle, and Dragonbane, which means I killed a dragon. Suck on it. like, and that's how they titles are a real thing.
He dropped an
Is that
icicle in
Matthias' thing, or does he actually use the more civilized use of titles?
Civilized. He probably
Okay.
doesn't know about that unless Karen told him, and Karen probably didn't tell him.
Karen is the one
fear.
that can go around saying he is the
Yeah.
Lich Slayer.
I don't have to say it. I'm wearing the head.
No one knows what that is.
Yeah,
Water
I would-
running here.
What's it?
Knower of the Red Slot.
I was gonna say, actually, yeah, you could be in that case. There's no title for that. You could make up your own. You could be fucking Immortality Bane.
He who killed death.
Also, you guys should definitely look at that picture. The video I just sent. It is gorgeous.
It is
Alright.
beautiful.
I'm afraid
Yes.
to click on it because it'll lock up my fucking.
Oh
internet
my
for
God.
10 minutes.
Isn't
Why
that
is it like
fabulous?
this?
It is a majestic creature.
I want that to be my familiar now.
That reminds me of there are horses that look like that.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
there are.
They have facial hair too.
It's a photogenic.
They have fucking mustaches.
Incredible.
Why does it have a mane?
Because fuck you, that's why. My raven looks like that now. Just a mane for no reason. Just blowing.
It's a raven for a
That makes
L'Oreal
me
commercial.
Yeah.
It has a mullet.
Alright, sorry for the derailment. But no, he'd be more civilized about it. Unless Karen wants to be his standard bearer or whatever.
Standard bearer?
Standard?
Standard.
Oh, standard bearer.
Standard?
What the fuck is a dandard? Oh,
I don't know.
I know what a dander is. But
Standard?
fuck you, Derek.
Depending on the size of the standard, yes. Because
I-
you guys are a bunch of limp-wristed weaklings.
I don't have a standard. I was just kidding. But if I did, it would have like a
What
raven
gloves?
head.
Isn't it just like the Raven's Eye icon?
Yes.
The Raven's icon.
Fuck you.
Yes. But no, he wouldn't have Karen sing of his deeds every time he's introduced.
Yeah, no.
He can
See,
do that himself.
His performance isn't that high.
Only we had a bard.
I mean, well, if Lionel was here, he'd pay him to do it in fake gold because he can do that now.
He's gonna pay the party in leprechaun
We're gonna
gold.
get run out of town. Every town.
Yeah, but they're gonna have like statues of me for like 3 whole minutes.
Wait, hold on.
Oh no, what's Mike doing?
We're not with him, as they all just fucking just bum rush him out of the town
Here's a
square.
question though. When I introduce myself, does he? Well, before he asked about, never mind. What I meant to say is, I was expecting him to say, "You must be some sort of powerful caster," and then stab me with a halberd. Because he did say, "You must be some sort of." I don't know.
He's waiting for you to turn your back because you expect it now.
Yeah. I'm just gonna walk backwards out of the room.
You know, I can use a halberd. I'm allowed.
You don't have a halberd.
Okay. Falthus, back to you. Back to you in the studio.
He finally wakes the fuck
After
up.
a moment, Torvald turns and looks at you as, oh dear. Hold on a
The
minute.
spiders!
He turns off and rushes around one of the, kind of like the icy blades sticking up through the ground. And you hear the sound of him, what appears to be tearing through various containers, bits of wood, various cloths and things like that go skittering across the room behind him as he's apparently rapidly digging through some kind of container over there before he comes rushing back with a small wooden bowl and some kind of a blue powder in it. He comes up right in front of Alphys, takes a breath, and goes and blows all the powder into your face.
I mean, you shouldn't mix drugs, man.
Yeah. It was crystal meth. No, he
Is
goes.
that meth people talk about?
Yopo.
What? To give you some idea of what that feels like, imagine if you were floating underwater, and then somebody, the dust everywhere it hits your face, each piece of dust turned into a little anchor that grabbed onto your skin, and then you were pulled out of the water by that. Deeply unpleasant, but that kind of shock to your system.
Wow.
It's not
Jesus.
painful. You're not feeling skin stretching. It feels like being dragged back to.
But all the same, I'm
sentience.
glad for it.
Yeah. He goes. I. There. Better. He doesn't seem to have a lot of confidence in what he said.
Falthus,
Your vision is blurry. Your ears are ringing, and you can barely see. You're basically just seeing blurry colors.
Are you okay there,
I'm gonna
Valthus?
sit down if I'm not already sitting
Oh,
down.
you're sitting down.
Gotta do a medicine check to see if I can help.
Sure.
How many fingers do you see?
I don't know. I don't have video on
I
for you.
stab you.
Three stooges poking the eyes.
You get a look for him. Give me a medicine. Okay, yeah. You get a look at him. You get the feeling that there's nothing.
This bitch is ODing on me, man.
Just kick the bitch out of the car. No, he goes. You get the sense there's nothing physically wrong with him. Matthias, what is with me mind raping you? Just why is that a recurring theme of your character?
He knows what he
You
did.
have had overwhelming, horrifying. This is why druids are so fucked up.
Yeah, this is number 3. Huh?
Yeah, you had visions of the visions of doom,
Oh yeah, that
followed by
because
followed by the domination of
Mind Flayer.
Oh yeah, the mind flayer got you on stage.
Yeah, and then Call Rawl. And then this. This is number 4.
I try to
Okay,
help
you know
with
what?
all of
Actually, at this point, I'm gonna give you something.
Give me that hip voice after all. Hey, man.
After this, you have advantage on intelligence saves against things that overwhelm a target's mind.
But this wasn't an intelligence save.
It's
That's fair.
This was a wisdom save.
It's gonna be intelligence saves or the same because it's essentially the same. Well, that's a good point.
Well, I have the
You should
what
call-
is it? The
Food was intelligence save.
what's the elvish thing I have is not against. I can't be slept.
You can't
Right, or
slept.
charmed. That's it.
You can't
Okay,
be
how about this
slept.
then?
You're immune to sleep and magical sleep, and you have advantage on saves against charm.
Okay, in that
Okay,
case,
in
how
that
about
case,
I
this?
lost it somewhere on my bio
You have
page.
advantage on saves against because you're already resistant to charm effect. You have advantage. You have advantage on saves to resist stun effects.
Mental stun only though.
Yeah, mental stun.
Yeah.
But please call the ability mental scarring.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I already have facial scarring. I never healed the scar from that battle on the boat.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Let's
Yeah, I like it on there. Well, it's since he didn't grow up like in a city or with like certain social cues and stuff and the needs of druids and survival and stuff. That was never really a thing about like cosmetic or superficial stuff for them to keep up their appearance. So like he doesn't mind the scar there. Part of him, it's just kind of like he enjoys the memory being tied to him, and especially after this long with the scar and all of the accomplishments that we've had thus far, that everyone knows us by our these descriptions of us, and there's the elf with the scar on his face. He looks like a druid. That's got to be Valtus of the so-and-so group.
Our other group, that's a recurring joke. Oh, you are Miria of the family, the Miria of the family last name. And Lionel the Lost, you've returned to us. That's amazing. That must make you Taurus. It's just...
Doesn't the scar also give you like advantage on?
No, it's disadvantage for. It's advantage on intimidate. That's right.
Advantage on intimidation and
disadvantage on
persuasion.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, I lost that too when the bio switched over on the new form of character sheet.
That's something to keep track of.
There you go, man.
Yeah, I gotta find out where I got that at. I got it written somewhere.
You silly people.
I'm still shocked after all this time that I walked away with minor scarring, despite me and Taurus getting just beat to shit.
I have a giant scar in my abdomen and back from being impaled.
Yeah, you got like slammed through a mast or something.
Oh no,
and a halberd.
The halberd. I still have the scar from the halberd. I broke my ribs because Lionel's griffin landed on me.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. He careened into you.
Uh-huh. I kind of wish that I would have had the original thing, but I didn't roll it in the thing. Was it like Lost Foot or Lost Hand? Would have been cool character-wise, but gameplay-wise, I would have had to have that healed instantly, otherwise spellcasting issues.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is, how likely do you think you were going to be able to find a caster capable of casting fucking regeneration?
I'd have to find Glade.
Yeah,
hope
except you were... At this point, you're like, well, gotta call the mission off, guys. If we can't reload a save, I gotta go home and regrow my hand.
Uh-huh.
All right, it's fun. Just get a hook candy. Dread
after a
Captain
moment,
Matthias.
Torvald comes back and he says, I apologize.
Lord Dread Captain Matthias.
I may have underestimated the stress that put on an unprepared mind. It's Terra. It took the circle center nearly.
I like how it's other.
5 turnings of the season to prepare me for each of my circles. Still, best way to learn is through experience.
Yes, it's true. Harsh, but it's true. I know the phrase.
He's only
firsthand for sure.
He's only
this is
minorly
usually
brain
You open
damaged.
your
thing.
mouth to speak. That comes out in what language do you speak?
Oh, hold on, I got him.
What? You cut out so much.
No, he was in
Silver.
character.
I've got the Elvish race. I think comes with the Elvish, but Sylvan's the bonus language I picked.
Okay, so Elven, Common, and Sylvan?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's kind of like when somebody who speaks more than one language and it's like, say I learn Chinese and go live in China for like 6 or 7 years, but if I get drunk, I'm gonna start talking in English.
Oh.
Or a mix.
Oh, yeah. So what happens is you meant to say that in Common. It came out in Dwarven.
Ha!
You don't speak Dwarven. You know what you just said. You know that that's what it means. You don't speak Dwarven. You can think of no other thought in Dwarven.
So what? It's like some leftover connections sparking out.
Yep.
Cool.
Did you see Taurus?
Torvald looks at you, says, yeah, that'll pass. He gets up and he gets up to his feet and kind of moves back over, starts basically kicking the things that he tossed out back into their corner.
I like this guy.
doesn't try to fuck plants.
We don't know that.
Yet.
You don't know what he's
That's
burying
on
over
like
there.
the checklist criteria. When we meet new people and we're like, all right, well look, can we?
Listen.
If this guy we get cool with this guy, we're gonna invite him to stuff. Well, all right, well he doesn't fuck plants. So that's good, right?
None of the snow in here is snow.
I'm going home, guys. I don't want to be here.
And a guy was a real asshole down at the pub down there. Oh, hey, at least he doesn't fuck plants, man. He might have some
That's a good point.
just a little bit of screwed up world perspective and political opinion, but it's not a plant fucker, you know.
Mike, what have you done to us?
What haven't I done to you?
That's a awful question.
Oh,
Do you think it's time for me to pull out my halberd and stab the group yet?
man, I like to picture. Well, this technically was. That was part of. Listen.
What?
What? Is Andy? Is
Meta
Andy...
was saying, well, at least he was not a plant rapist. That would be different. I went,
He's a plant peeping Tom.
A plant voyeur, thank you.
He's a plant sexual assaulter. Let's not think about it.
A plant-based Master Roshi?
Oh, it's terrible.
That's pretty awful, actually. Okay. So what's up, guys? What you want to
What?
do?
Well, we have a heading. We have means to get there relatively quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's up to Garrett.
Side quest?
All this
we
kind
have
of
any
contribute
side
at the
quests we
moment
have
is
to
that
do
he
here?
wants to. He's still just not even paying attention to input.
That's a good.
Just like, holy shit, I need to sit down and like, you know, stop my head from spinning. Not that he can't travel per se, but at least for the moment, he doesn't even know. I wouldn't even know how long it takes to recover. So,
Alright,
you know,
guess
it's one of those
we've done-
deals where you're just feeling shitty, like, I don't know how long this is going to take.
You gotta go
I don't
find
know
that
when
dragon, I
I'm-
guess.
I was just about to say, we do have that dragon to go kill. Also,
Your side quests.
Valthus, in order to save money, you're going to have to turn into a bird, and then you'll just pass off as a bird, because birds don't have to pay the teleportation fee. And we're on a budget.
Are we?
Teleportation fee. Left all my money at home.
Well, that's why you turn into a bird.
The fuck. What was it? 50 gold teleportation tax.
Yeah,
I'll scrounge up something or sell them.
I'll just drop a platinum for all of us.
I have
think-
for you a very exciting offer I'd like to make. Now, this is really fantastic. I feel like this is really going to be something personal that you care about a lot. Today, I am selling you, for the low, low price of 50 gold, your life, full and included with all your memories, and you get to continue living it literally until you die. Now, that is an offer you just can't refuse. Draw your blade. Just... when you're really good at bartering, but are also chaotic evil. Hi, it's Billy Mays here with this sledgehammer.
You kind of become.
That sounds a lot like something an Eodane Shard would say.
It's kind of like Javier Bardem's character in No Country for Old Men.
Oh, God.
Now I'm gonna flip this coin. Like, wait a minute, that's not a choice.
Yeah, right.
No, I'm a good bargainer. I'm telling you. See, look, I'm giving you the coin flip.
God damn.
No, that's not.
All right. So,
Man.
is there anything else you wanted to ask him? He sort of started to shifting to going to back about his own things.
Quick before he turns into a bear.
I saw your staff.
His staff?
The Velagos.
Wait, what?
She had his staff that
I was offered her staff.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Nice old lady
Is it-
has it. Named Velagos. You know
He frowns. I don't like to talk about it.
Ah, yeah, I understand. She's a bit of a cougar. Or is it love lost? All that jazz?
He goes, no, nothing like that. Of course not.
Is she a dragon?
I don't like her. What did you say?
Is she a dragon?
What?
Is she a dragon?
Heard you.
Yeah, but is she a dragon?
Why are you asking me? I don't know. Maybe?
Okay.
She cheated me out of my staff.
Oh.
He's obviously upset.
Oh. Well, I mean, if you go kill a dragon for her, I'm sure she'll give it back.
I clamp my hand over Matthias's mouth and pull him away from him.
I would lick your hand, but I don't know where it's been. Actually, I do know where it's been, and that scares me even more.
And that's why I'm not licking your hand.
A lot of not alive things.
Yeah.
I grab the immovable rod and hold on to it after pushing the button. As you try to carry me away.
I gotta make what, a 30 athletics to move it or something?
To be fair, you're also ripping me in half while you do that.
It's not a question of the integrity of the rod. Motherfuckers are weird.
Uh-huh.
Well, then
What-
if he's
what if
really
roll?
just keeps
What-
pulling me, I push the button for grumble and
What,
walk away.
what if roll? I want to see. The rod would stay. Matthias's arm would not.
I mean, I'd let go before you ripped me in half.
Or would you be stubborn?
Well, let's see what I would roll. Athletics check. Yeah!
That's surprisingly high for you.
That's a
That was almost a crit.
19.
Good job.
Sure, but how low is that bar? Like,
I don't know. How high did he put the immovable rod?
I
fuck
get
you.
it.
Fuck you, Derek. I demand somebody else make that joke so I can laugh about it, despite Derek.
It depends on how high I put the rod.
I don't like you anymore.
Get out.
You told me to.
I don't care. I'm the DM. I can change my mind at a whim.
Oh. Well, then once Karen lets go of me, I'll probably continue to ask questions. Until Karen decides he wants to leave.
I will ask questions until I am bludgeoned into a state of unconsciousness.
Yeah, that too.
Well, guys, if there's nothing else that we have of import to ask Matthias, then I'm ready to go.
Listen, we've been there for so long, we never found out if she's a dragon or not. Fine, let's just go. You guys ready?
You can come back later on your own.
No, before I go. I'm pretty sure the answer is no, but, just in case, is there a teleportation circle here?
What?
Good answer. Anyway, do you know there's a giant anti-magic storm in your backyard? It's not in your backyard, but it's very far away, kind of. Just avoid it. You won't be able to magic.
Oh, he goes, oh, yes, the storms here are quite nasty.
Do you know what causes it?
What causes what? The storms?
Yeah, the anti-magic storm.
That's a part of the life in the wild, or, out here.
I hate
It's
it.
not contained entirely to the mountains, you know. Oddities, strange things. Why do you think I live so far out here? Things you would never see back where you're from.
Like what?
Hail of mosquitoes, just all kinds of wonderful things.
And you enjoy living out here?
Where did he come from?
I want to leave right away as soon as he said hail of mosquitoes.
No, I want to know where he came from because whatever it is much worse. I don't ever want to see it.
Also,
He came
all
from
right.
the inner cities. He was tired of
I
the
know.
donation plates.
He-
Donation plates everywhere.
Other trauma.
I tell you guys, I would rather sit up in the frozen Arctic covered in mosquitoes.
Then try one more bite of your flesh tree.
I'll tell you what, you like it? Why don't you go up there? Fine, I will. I'll go up there.
I love D&D. Also, I have a good in-character reason for why my character knows of Towerdale. He obviously researched all the places bordering the Wildlands because of the flower and his curse that he had.
That
Yeah,
works.
this place was once on the border. Whenever you were
Yeah.
tracking the recession of the wildlands and why the flower doesn't seem to grow anywhere else, Torvald actually gives you more of a description than that. He talks about there's different sort of. He speaks in more ethereal terms. Essentially, the Wildlands has a life progresses differently. It's a lot like how people talk about how we look at everything we know about how plants grow, how life is, how things work. But the way he explains it is the rules start to change out here. Things don't work quite the same way. The way he describes it, to borrow a quote from another medium, he says, if you continue to go farther and farther out there, you will find things become more and more strange. Land and sky are not always parallel. Rain disrupting magic. Oh,
I hate when
come out and
magic
stay
disrupts my
longer
rain.
next time. What's that?
You said rain disrupting magic?
Oh, snow. Sorry, snow disrupting magic.
Oh, so magic.
This place does strange things, and not just to the physical world. Have you noticed any other oddities? Spiritual oddities?
We fought a ghost thing.
Yeah, a bunch of ghosts. Well, we saw a bunch of ghosts. We fought one ghost thing. Three ghost things.
There's also my own spirits were wilted, but
My raven was tired.
He says, he lets out a smile and he says, it is chaos out here. He looks totally contented with that, as though he had just described the place as beautiful.
There is beauty in chaos. I prefer things I can calculate and reason.
Guys, the mosquitoes are starting to fall outside. Let's go, let's go, let's go!
Anti-magic mosquitoes.
Oh God, no!
They suck the mosquitoes right out of you.
Well, I mean, that's almost like how Mike said it, snow disrupting magic. I meant magic disrupting snow.
you know what? I gotta say, part of me has some respect for this old Torvald here.
Alright, well, whenever everyone's ready, I will start the ritual. Well, I don't think it's a ritual, I think I just have to cast it. Make sure I actually have it prepared, that'd be horrible.
Yeah, that wouldn't be fun.
It is prepared, and it's not a ritual.
I'm ready when you guys are.
I would love some warm.
I'm gonna thank Torvald for his help, for everything, and
Level spell. That's 7 spell points.
huh.
And the inner cities.
And welcome back to civilization, asshole!
Yay! I was expecting it to somehow be fucked up.
Oh yeah, like that one time when we botched a teleportation so hard we ended up in the ocean.
Oh God.
That
That was
happened.
horrible
about that.
luck.
You thank him for his efforts, and you step outside and begin to draw the teleportation circle in the snow.
Did
we
we
just do it
dry
over
off
there?
all the anti-magic shit first?
Yeah, it's been enough time, and you've slept enough nights that it's all evaporated off.
Oh, thank
The
God.
only thing you still have is the water skin full of the water. When you make it back into town, you can buy a new water skin to replace one. And since you're in the inner cities, it'll be a premium name brand. It'll be a Gucci
brand
brand
water
water skin.
Oh, while we're there, I'd like to drop off a sample of the water. Not all of it, but a sample to the Archmage.
Just
Dip your fingers in
Splash
it and
it.
flick it in his eye.
I was gonna say just splash it in his eye.
How's that for a sample, fucker?
Study this, asshole.
I'm blind! Yeah, we know. No, but I'm really, really blind!
We're the heroes!
We
bad
are the
people.
heroes.
No, you and I hesitate to make this comparison, but you channel energy into the circle, and the ritual completes. You all turn and take your last look in the out into the wildlands around you. Having completed this leg of your journey, it's been a trip.
It has been.
You wave goodbye and then vanish.
This was much
and you
easier
were
than I
greeted-
thought it'd be.
What's that?
This is much easier than I thought it'd be.
What, the wildlands?
Yeah.
Well, by and large, you get to bypass a lot of the issues that other non-level 12 parties would have to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah, our biggest hiccup was that whole the avalanche thing and the giants.
Oh, yeah.
The Aboleth was fun.
That doesn't count. That wasn't part of this. That was
Side quests.
that thing is still on my shit list.
Agreed. Believe you me, agreed.
Ooh,
God.
dump some anti-magic into his pool of water.
That's the entire purpose of studying that, is to do that to him.
Maybe we can, like, maybe Valthus and I can work together to create a spell. Create anti-magic water. I know that can't happen.
Anti-aboleth water, because fuck him. That's the whole spell title.
See, this is how Spoonie's squirt gun wears.
It started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that. That was awesome.
Oh no, I remember that too.
Mm-hmm.
Was that Shadowrun?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I have a question. When we go through the portal, is the person there asking for the donation, quote unquote, a pretty lady or just, a guy?
Stone-faced dwarf with a plastered-on smile.
Okay.
Oh, I've never been so
I
happy to
toss
see
him
him.
platinum and say, keep the change in the wink.
You filthy animal.
Right?
Hey, wait. What platinum? I have all your money.
Oh, you're holding the... Okay.
That's his
Well-
secret butt platinum.
Oh,
That's true. I forgot you have my money. Oh no, I'm carrying 42 platinum with me, but you have my gold
And your silver.
and my silver, yeah. But I have 42
Alright.
platinum with me, so now I'm down to 41 platinum.
Fantastic.
And then I make my way to the Archmage's place.
I'm gonna covertly pay all donations using Matthias's money.
How much, you bastard?
Do it.
Nobody really needs the money, but still, you bastard.
I'm allowing this as a player character. I'm allowing this.
Okay.
I'm not going to. Don't worry.
No. I gave you the go-ahead. It could be good role-playing stuff later on.
Spite me. Do it.
It's what Matthias would really want.
I have enough. I have enough money even for the inner cities, so I'm good.
You
Spite
really
is how
do.
he gets off now.
I have 50 platinum and 300 gold. I should be fine.
Oh, yeah, I know what I did.
Why do you think he likes to fuck with the Archmage so much?
He berates
All
me.
that, just all that spite, right into his balls.
What?
That's how I just said. That's how Matthias gets off. He has spite.
Gross.
It would explain everything.
I don't want it to.
I'd probably wait for the group, though, if they want to go with me. They don't have to. Because I know how it usually ends, because he is racist and we have 2 elves. Although he wants to probably secretly fuck one of them. Or both. I don't know.
And he's pretty rugged and hot.
True.
Yeah.
True.
That scar
Got that
is
long
pretty
hair.
sexy.
No matter. You know what?
It's all exotic and feminine.
I hate this place, so I would rather us not split up too much. So I will go with you, Matthias.
Me too.
Okay.
Where are we going?
I'll get lost and accidentally eat something.
All right. So everyone's sticking together. He's gonna first drop off the sample, the anti-magic.
Right,
powder to
right.
the,
Yeah. Not all of it, though. Just, I'd warn him about its properties and that it may affect his vision, because it's magical,
so
and that he shouldn't get on anything.
All right. So hold that thought, because you're not there yet. You approach
Okay.
You stepped out of the teleportation circle. Subtract 50 gold from the fucking teleportation tax.
I gave him platinum, so I subtracted a platinum.
Yeah, but a platinum is only 10 gold.
It is?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
You underpaying dick.
Oh, I thought it was
That's why you
100.
said I give him 1 platinum and said keep the change. I was like,
Oh, well, then that didn't happen. Then I give him 50 gold. Then I honestly thought it was 100 gold for some reason.
oh no, it's an easy mistake to make.
Yeah, because aren't the other ones in hundreds to step up?
No, they're all tens.
Ah.
It's copper is 10 silver is 10 gold. Or no, other way around. 1 platinum is 10 gold. 1 gold is 10 silver.
No, 1 gold is
copper.
10 EP.
No,
Yeah.
EP is 5 is half a gold.
What?
Because
Which
EP
is
is
stupid.
fucking stupid.
EP's stupid.
Electrum is
It's a
it's
50-cent piece.
Fuck D&D.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is why we don't use Electrum for like anything. ever.
Where's some
Alright.
fucking pennies? Okay, so I give
So-
him 50 gold then, and I don't say keep the change. I also wait with my hand out towards Karen,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna
waiting for
fucking
him to give
pull
me
out
the
a
50 gold.
with a smile on my face. I'm gonna give it to you like a man giving his son his allowance.
Thank you, servant Karen, for holding my money for me.
So do we want to have to roll for petty posturing, or can we move on?
We could, but probably should just move on.
Let's go ahead and write this.
I'm good. Let's move along.
Yeah, let's go up and write this off as sort of just a mirthful exchange for having somewhere Karen's got good reason to be excited,
Yeah.
and
Is Mike
that's
cutting?
all.
Mike,
Sorry.
Cutting out.
No, Karen's got good reason to be excited, and everyone else is happy to be back in the warm.
Yeah.
I've updated your gold.
So did I. I'm at 1412, right?
What's that?
1412 gold.
I got 1422.
I have 1412.
numbers.
My last tally was 1472. So.
Mine was 62.
All right then.
Oh, right. I forgot.
I'll go with your.
Yeah, it's
go with
it's mine
yours.
because of familiar. It's 10 gold. I forgot about that. I forgot to mention that to you. So
All right, cool. Well, 1412 it is.
D&D
All right.
budgeting.
So you approach the tower, and as you approach, and I'm kind of sad that no one else from the other game is in this, you approach and go up to the tower that leads up to the sort of the where you would go for a receiver for an audience with the Archmage. It's connected to the various other schools and cities, but it has a small receiving chamber that you know is entirely fictional. They set it up there only so people who want to see the Archmage will get blocked by the secretary. Once you meet the secretary, if you're that insistent, eventually he'll send down his apprentice, who will come down and get you to go away, either by saying, yes, we'll look into it, or, similar.
but I know all that because I spent time working with them.
Yep. What's funny about that is the other party didn't know that and spent probably close to, I don't know, an hour in game time trying to talk their way up to see the Archmage, because come on, we're famous, why won't you let us?
Mike, what's your fucking problem?
That's it. The Archmage is Mike. It's the Archmike.
It is the Archmage.
Oh, you're such an archmage.
I love it so much.
All right. Anyway, you walk in, look at her, and go, "It's fine," and then just walk past.
Hi.
You go into the spiral staircase and walk up to several flights of stairs, where you hit the receiving area, and you walk in. Just past that, there's a small sealed chamber that you walk up to, push the door open, and you see the actual secretary sitting there. She stands up, gives you sort of, or I'm sorry, he stands up, gives you a respectful bow, and says, "Good evening, Lord Matthias."
Good evening. What's his
He
name?
loves that.
I don't say that. I'm assuming my character actually knows his
Good
name.
evening, Cog. Where is the Archmage?
I feel tackly today. The need to tackle.
Don't worry, I got you covered.
Just waiting for one day. Just like one day he's fought the Archmage, it finally comes full circle. He can no longer deal with that one slight. He finds a Titan and hires him to tackle you. Just to follow you around. Not fight you. Just follow you around and tackle you at inopportune moments.
That reminds me of Monster Hunter World. But I don't want to derail the
Fucking
game.
cats.
All right. He looks up at her, he says, you say you're here to see you greet him and you say, you're here to see the Archmage. He says, yes, he's, consulting with the council, or he's consulting with the council after the latest findings from the scrying chamber.
Oh.
But he should be free to assess things. Shall I call his apprentice for you?
No. The scrying
Let's
chamber,
wait.
you say? Does it have something to do with the Raven's Eye?
He says, yes, indeed. We found words of a sudden surge of extraplanar influence.
Then I need to speak with
Unfortunately,
him
the
now.
surge was immediately cut short.
Well, then I walk in. Because I need to see him now.
Okay.
I picture all of us just like
Because-
rapidly disrobing into warmer gear.
Oh,
yeah,
you're probably all
do that.
sweating.
I'm just stuffing giant bear furs into fucking boxes.
Well, I'm immune
tiny,
to fire,
tiny
so I'm
boxes.
also immune to, like...
I just have a picture. He turns around and goes, "Hey, I bought this orb off this lady. It's the cold. The cold.
Nice.
How did that happen so fast? How did it get here?"
Because if I'm not part of the council, then fuck that shit, because it was my idea to start this.
No,
Yeah,
no,
I'm-
the city council.
Oh, okay. Oh.
As in, ultimately, you started the Raven's Eye, but the Raven's Eye still ultimately moves at the behest of the city.
Yeah.
No, it's not like the
Yeah.
Raven's Eye
still
Council.
demand.
Yeah, you could walk right into their headquarters if you wanted.
Yeah. Well, I still need to hear this.
Speaking of which, their headquarters is actually located in the city. So you can feel free to stop in there anytime.
All right, maybe after this.
Okay,
Okay.
you're familiar with the guild leader. His name's a Master Vaughn. He was apparently essentially like a what's the word for it? If you're a sort of a melee fighter that also knows spells, like a battle mage.
Eldritch Knight.
Yeah, like a battle mage or an Eldritch Knight or
Nice.
some variation on that,
Or an asshole.
or an asshole. Okay. He goes. You walk inside and you kind of you step inside sort of the hearing chamber. Up there's the round table discussion up top. You step in down towards where like the guests are. As the conversation continues, you know full well that you guys can talk and discuss this at your leisure. There's a dome of silence that prevents people in the visitor section from actually communicating with the people down below. The meeting itself is fairly concise. You've been using a pretty well round-the-clock use of the scrying chamber to attempt to seek out basically extraplanar threats and things like that, unless the city council decides that there is a higher need. The Raven's Eye is not generally deployed on a. How much do you invest in that, as in personally managing it, Matthias?
As much as I can. He sees it as his, whether it's actually his or not.
Okay. In that case, I'll run you through some of the specifics, and do me a favor, if you wanted to see about changing that, then let me know.
Will do.
At the moment, there's a lot of good things that they do. First of all, they are first deployment whenever there's any kind of extraplanar threats or incursions. Their usual method of first response is by using the scrying chamber. That's the good. The downside is heavy use of the scrying chamber is extremely taxing on users, and doing broad field searches like this is chewing up people. They rotate on and off, but generally it's not a job that you need to be at least mostly proficient in understanding the arcane to use it, so they kind of use the people who aren't doing so great academically. It's not like a punishment. It doesn't fuck you up like permanently. But it's generally an unpleasant experience.
Well, I mean, it's good extra credit.
Right?
It's like
Another
manual
good
labor
thing
for
is
your brain.
that first response nature, they don't have to wait for letters or telegrams or anything like that. They can instantly sort of make moves at whatever is detected, and that's good. The problem also is funding. Who's funding it? Inner city threats are paid for directly by the council, as well as any city that allies itself with the council well enough to essentially pay a series of sort of like taxes. This is not the equivalent of like countrywide taxes, but it's the same sort of eminent. It was sort of born out of the big war with the forces from the Barrack Desert. Rather than rely on having to plead for the council's assistance in times of emergency, they agree to partially fund the council's exploits, sending money to the inner cities in exchange for the inner cities responding. They're going to help in all cases where these kind of threats are detected. People in that circle, the Raven's Eye is deployed immediately, and the city won't basically it's like insurance. People outside that circle, and here's a question for you: if this is how you're going to run this, how will people outside that circle be affected? Do you deploy the Raven's Eye and then basically backbill whatever area that they move into, or do you try to persuade the council to pay for it anyway?
I persuade the council, and if I can, am I still getting paid by Breckenridge for being a lord/ambassador or something? Because I do technically own those places that I, invested in. So I think it'd be getting a return on that, like the Mage Tower, the Apothecary I spent money on.
Okay. In that case, so what you're doing is essentially you're taking all your supplementary income and you're rolling it to sort of throw at the inner cities, rather than funding for Breckenridge itself. You're rolling that funding and saying, "Look, use this. If cities outside the council, it's essentially an overflow fund."
It's basically Medicare for magical invasions.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you're a socialist, you're a socialist.
I'm chaotic.
Fuck your rules. Anyway, okay. So you've rerouted your investments into essentially putting an overflow fund,
and that's why I'm so poor.
That they'll deploy these guys, even if the city's not in the council, up till that funding runs out. The council won't budge on paying for cities that refuse to pay into it.
Yeah.
The more you deal with them, the more you get kind of tired of dealing with their hardline policies on these things. But whatever, that's why you go adventuring. And don't spend every minute of every day arguing with the council.
I was about to say Fallout, not Fallout. I can fable this shit and just fund it with my money, eventually, to a point, if necessary.
All right. So do me a favor, by the way. I usually try to gloss over things if I don't think it'll be interesting to you. If your character would genuinely be interested, let me know, and I can double back on it, and I can actually I never want to be speaking for your character.
I understand.
Do you?
No, I didn't hear anything Mike said for the past 5 minutes.
Ooh, shit in your open mouth.
No, shit in his closed mouth. Force it in.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Wet somebody else's pants. Okay. So.
Raven's Eye is mine.
Did you just? Was that my sound effect from fucking Captain Delicious or CJ's?
What?
The Captain Delicious Super Punch
Was it? I feel like you would know your own sound effect.
No, CJ made those ones. I made the squishy noises for the Pudge Trudge.
What the fuck is a Pudge Trudge?
He's a little purple blob.
Pudge is about often trudging. And since he's a little squishy blob, I voiced him by making gross smacking sounds into my microphone and cutting them up, and so now he sounds like this.
You disgust me.
As it should.
Please
It's like
I'm
the
aroused.
bag of water that Ren and Stimpy used.
Bag of water?
Think of you'll know it. Think of like Ren and Stimpy when one of their lip would quiver when they're about to cry.
Yeah.
That like.
Yeah.
No, you'll know the sound. Or you hear it. Like I'll try to find it. They shook a bag of water. It's so fucking perfect.
I'm sorry. I love how sound effects actually get made. Okay. So, you go up inside and you sit and listen. Apparently, the information is fairly dry, and that was that there was nothing. There was nothing. There was very, very minor extraplanar presence detected in that region. Not extremely high amounts. Just sort of the kind of the possible presence of a minor practicing wizard. the occasional kind of like vague senses that get them elsewhere. Either something reasonably powerful came through and is keeping a low profile, or a small like blip, or sort of a low hum. Usually things that there's like that are present, and a practicing wizard tends to drop them from other points.
Or like a giant orb, or like a little orb just appearing out of a bag.
Yeah. It's not like looking. It's not like lighting a match in a perfectly dark. It's not like a spark in the middle of a perfectly dark room. It's a lot more like the world is when used through that is a series of very dark and sometimes slightly gray, and they decide whenever something is big and when to send the people up. At this time. They were more of the details of the meeting go through. It looks like this was a city that was by and large. This city was by and large fairly successful, so they ignored the smaller signs for a little while, and then all at once there was a massive surge of extraplanar presence akin to multiple entities coming through at once. However, the surge didn't last, and shortly after, it looks like no remaining signs of extraplanar activity of any kind remain. They theorized for several. They got the Archmage's opinion, where he theorized it was likely a failed mage who attempted to summon some extraplanar entity beyond their ability to control, and it likely killed them. End of story. This council insists, we should have some kind of an official response. He shrugs his shoulders and say, why? Dead. And if it's a summoned entity, it's unlikely to stick around. Typically, they don't last longer than the magic of the being that summoned them. Before he kind of shrugs his shoulders, lets out a yawn, and turns and walks out of the room without preamble.
Yeah, the whole time I was thinking, would Matthias cast Dispel Magic and then just yell to interrupt this?
They would be pissed. This is a permanent circle. If you dispel it, it is hugely difficult to get this back in place.
I know. I didn't do it. I don't want to retcon and say I did.
But
I kind of think Matthias would definitely think about that. Or he may have done it once in the 5 years he was there.
But just immediately after you first make it, you just tear it down out of spite.
Well, in
Raging
that
erection.
case, this reaction will not surprise you when you turn and step into the Archmage's quarters, and not his quarters really so much as it's his library, and he turns and looks at you and says, "What?"
Hey Archie, brought something interesting for you.
Archie.
He turns and says, "Really? What's that?"
Anti-magic water. I thought you would be interested, and I thought maybe you could check into it for me.
He walks over and he picks up
May
the
not
water
have
skin.
Well,
He moves over and reaches for the water skin.
I hold it back. Hold on a second. Get a glass or something.
He looks at you, he kind of narrows his eyes and says, "Why?"
I'm keeping this. You can have
I
some of
want
it.
you to drink it. Drink it, you piece of shit.
He lets out a sigh
And also,
turns and
I know
walks
your
over and
I know your eyesight is magical. I don't want to risk dumping anything on you. It could affect that. Whether permanently or temporary. So far the effects have been temporary, but it is really, really limiting to magic users.
Says,
It may
reaches
not even
over,
have
he
kept
goes
its
over to his
properties all the way here.
He throws open the cabinets and he reaches inside and pulls out a crystalline decanter. He comes and walks over and places it down on the table and then steps back and says, "How potent is it?"
It affects people and objects just by touching them.
My wand of the War Mage would not work because it
Here
was
he goes.
coated in stuff.
And he goes, yes, anti-magic has that properties. Anything else?
That's it. And I pour some for him and put the
You're going to
back.
comment that you couldn't cast spells after drinking it?
Yeah.
Because that is important.
I do say that.
Oh,
It was kind of
wasn't sure
implied,
whether
but
you
it wasn't openly stated whenever I said that it's damaging to... Well, it
Yeah,
limits magic
you
use.
have the intelligence to know that as a particular oddity. Anti-magic rods certainly exist. There's anti-magic devices.
Yeah.
But you haven't seen something that has the ability to shut down a magic user,
Mm-hmm.
like just instinctively.
Yeah, I
Not
did mention that it
instinctively,
would
internally.
affect his vision, so I don't know whether that's his magic or magically augmented eyes, like a magical object.
So you say exposure to it prevented spellcasting.
Yes.
He was about to step closer to it before he stops, looks down at the decanter, and then looks back at you, and says, "And you carry it around."
You never know when you
That's a
see
long
an
trip.
unruly caster who needs a shower.
We probably need a shower.
We probably need a shower. I'm still using prestidigitation at every single second that I can.
I'm just standing here.
Yep, you are a greasy, sweaty nightmare that is getting just the most disdainful looks from everyone in the inner cities.
I hope we're leaving a puddle in his room.
Oh, if that started to happen, if I'd not noticed, I'd be casting prestidigitation to clean you off.
You can't
No,
stop
you've been
me.
walking around for a little while. I mean, like, just getting here is like a couple of minutes at least. And you're in like the bright, warm sun. You also stripped away a lot of the outer layers of clothes and rolled them back up. So you were dripping for a while, but Matthias, you kind of quickly took care of that, not to obliterate impressions. He looks down at it and he says, "So does it have an aura? You need to imbibe it,
We drank it and we were covered in it.
and your casting was affected."
It took every ounce of mental strength to cast a spell.
He
In
looks
game
down at it
terms,
again.
I had to make a concentration check.
I wonder if I should mention it even affected me.
It even affected the barbarian. No, oh wait, you can say that. Matthias probably won't say that.
It even affected me summoning up my nature spirits
And
whenever
my
I was
familiar.
drinking it.
My familiar was
He
exhausted.
he looks at you and his eyes kind of focus in on you for a moment. And he goes, "Interesting. Oh, that confirmed." He mutters off, carrying the decanter back towards the shelf where he originally got it, placing it down, and continues muttering to himself as he quickly scribes down some notes.
If we can
those of you with-
reproduce this, it could be a valuable tool against extraplanar beings.
Or a weapon.
You get the sense, those of you that have excellent hearing, i.e. most of you, he's muttering about the correlation between the arcane and the spiritual as further proof of that basically barbarians who are like shamans and people that are in tune with the spirits and nature are really just bad wizards. As his theorem.
I mean, he's not wrong. I can only really cast Fist.
You want to see a demonstration?
Please.
We got a level of essentially you've worked with him long enough to know that his opinion on things that outside of wizardry or muscles and brute strength are wildly are mundane and
Yeah.
you know, like
I think he needs to be re-educated with some tackling.
Yeah, right. But the other thing that his opinion is essentially the other thing that you've noticed about him is essentially he views the ability to contact deities and other sort of clerical magics as another variation. It's its own school of the arcane, or it's its own school that he still sees as the arcane, but he instead sees it as borrowing power from extraplanar beings, which he sees as an impure kind of magic.
But I mean, aren't we just borrowing magic from the universe itself?
Yeah, basically.
We're just
but he
controlling
thinks that that's
it, but-
different because that's us making our own destiny. He talks about destiny a
I shoot lightning.
That's what a fucking...
lot. Just in general.
Now I do.
All right.
I'm tempted to brag about the fact that I can use that new ability now, but I'll save that for another time. We're in a hurry.
Rub his fucking his never goes outside in it or face in it.
Yeah.
He looks down. He puts down the decanter, looks at you, and says, "Thank you. I'll see that you're compensated. Anything else?"
That's it. Tell me your findings when you can, and just give the money to the Raven's Eye.
He goes, fine, fine. He shouts for his apprentice and then steps back around the corner.
Good seeing you too, Archie. And we leave.
Nothing warms my heart like seeing him. Always so warm and welcoming.
Right? Now I take some and
Alright.
flick it at his eyes. I don't do that. Because
Does he use eye drops? I want to put a couple drops of this in those bottles.
Also, some alchemist fire.
Well, I could do that. And then I'd be immune to the fire, right?
Yeah, but that would still probably burn. Not like physical burn, it's just chemical burn.
Yeah, but I mean... We have a healer.
Do we?
Well, we have a druid who can
If,
cast spells, maybe.
if you drip alchemist fire into your own eyes, I feel like you're on your own.
But it would be really cool looking for a little bit as my eyes are on fire.
Sure.
Let's
Can't
go
you
with
just do that with magic?
Yeah, but I mean, practical effects are better than special effects.
God
Anyway.
damn it.
I'm gonna kill everyone.
I'm sorry. I'd probably suggest we leave, and then I'd make my way out.
Okay. You turn and make your way out down through the lecture hall and down through the receiving area, down the stairs, through the fake receiving area, and out the door.
Man, how long have we been gone?
You've been gone fucking... Let me think. It's been a couple of weeks at least. Goddamn ghosts. There. Meta, would you be able to grab it? Thank you. Alright. No. Okay. So you step out into the evening sunset. What do you guys want to do? It's getting kind of late in the day.
Find the best hotel. And sleep.
All right.
I don't know if I can afford the best hotel.
How much is the best hotel?
It's okay. Matthias has the most money out of all of us right now on him. He can
Wait, are you
afford it.
literally looking for the best of the best?
Yes.
20 gold apiece.
Okay. I pay it for me.
You're using like you're treating a resort style hotel like a bed and breakfast right now. You know that, right?
Yes. And Matthias is okay with that because it helps his brand.
Okay. All right.
Meanwhile, I'm sure the three people walking in behind you probably bring down the entire neighborhood's property value.
On purpose.
All right.
Not if I cast
Um,
seeming, which I don't
Anything
actually have
you want to do
prepared.
before you guys close out for the night?
Sorry, what's that? You kind of cut out near the end for me.
Is there anything you guys want to do before you check out for the night? Or should I say check in?
Kill you, that's one.
We're not monkeys named
Please
Dustin.
laugh like that all the time.
Nah, at this point, I think a proper bed might be a nice change of pace.
Oh, hell yeah.
All right. You get there early and are kind of glad you did. Your evening is spent surrounded by first doing samplings of the finest wines.
Yes.
Your equipment is basically taken to a place where it is cleaned, tailored, trimmed, refitted if you'd like.
Thank
and
you.
generally polished.
Because
don't
my
normally do
robes are ripped.
They don't normally do traveler's wear and things like that, but you are treated to every luxury, including like the most. They bring in healers from across the city, trained in the art of relieving tension and stress and things like that.
Can I get a mani
Oh,
pedi?
oh God, give me 3 of those stress guys, like right now.
God,
Yeah,
you're
they
gonna
work
hurt
out
them
the-
as they try to
a
massage you.
chisel and a hammer. They have a half giant on staff who just does elbow drops from 2 floors up.
At least take the bracers off before they do that. Jeez.
No. Give the bracers to the guy doing the massage.
Some real deep tissue massage.
Not even
Just
have any
going to
bones
town with
left.
flails and maces. Just, oh yeah, that's the good stuff.
ooh.
Oh, use this flail.
Yeah, I was about to say that. We should use that flail once.
I am terrified of any of us attuning to that thing.
I'll
I still
dispel
like
the
the,
curses. Maybe.
Was it? There was one of those. I think it was Kung Pao. Yeah, it was Kung Pao. They're the guy where like he's watching the one guy, and he's doing like the Buddhist monk thing where he's show no pain, where they're beating him with with different like staves and sticks, and just going to town on this guy, and he shows no reaction and just walks away. And so the guy's like, I can do that. So he goes over there and he goes, all right, we're gonna do this. Do not stop until I tell you to stop. Understand? You go. Oh, okay, are you sure? And he goes, yes, I'm sure. Do it, go! And they start beating on him. So he's like, oh god, he's just trying to say stop. He can't get the word out. And finally, when the guy just bashes him in the nuts, and he just goes down. He collapses, goes unconscious. And so they're just hitting him, and he just goes, well, he didn't say stop. Just keep hitting him while he's on the ground.
The safe word is.
Safe words, fuck! Fuck! All right. So you make your way. The next morning, you are greeted by an elegantly prepared breakfast, of which Karen eats 3.
Damn right.
As well as a possible morning beverage, if that's your thing. For which they have a fantastically mulled spiced cider, heated to perfection, and bottled and casked for a duration of over 100 years, made by elven monks on the far east, one of the oldest family of elven monks to brew. Those of you with tact in class go, wow, that's actually quite good. Those of you who couldn't give a shit go, yeah, I could drink a gallon of this.
That is actually quite good.
Each monk only ever makes 3 batches of this in their lifetime. The 4th batch, none live long enough to see uncorked.
Wow.
We blew.
That's dumb.
Anyway.
Give me all of it. I'm getting shit-faced and sloppy before I leave.
Karen, come on. I have some Dyson toilet moonshine for you. Toilet wine. There you go.
Yeah, but whose toilet? Was
I
it
just
the
like the
monks?
picture. I just picture like Matthias testing his magic. They pour it for him as soon as the guy's out of sight. He quickly means it. Waiter, there's a turd in my. Looks like a Wendy's ice cream, or not a Wendy's, Dairy Queen ice cream cone. It's a little roll and has a little curly Q at the top. Yay, using high-powered magic for petty gains.
Yeah.
All right.
That meal
So the
was free
following
that
morning,
day.
You set off. You sleep for a long time. You sleep for a long time. You sleep in well past when you normally would. I would assume having the bed would make that more of a thing. If you're are you more in a hurry? Would you force yourself to get up?
Matthias wouldn't, but if Karen does, he'd probably have to wake me up.
I would probably be relishing my actual real bed
Alright.
far too much the first day.
Oh, hell yeah.
All right.
After weeks of wilderness bullshit, I can handle one night of being soft and just, oh god, yes, this thread count's amazing.
Is this Egyptian? What's Egyptian? Where is Egypt?
Sorry. All right. Cool. So in that case, you
Like
sleep
2
for a
whole
chunk of
threads
the
in
morning.
this.
Not so much. You sleep part of it. You wake up, roll back over, go back to sleep. And you all wake up with, I would assume, a relatively refreshed look on your face after all this.
Oh god, yeah.
Balthus, this entire time you've been sort of shaking out the extra infinity that's limbering in your head, just trying to get it to roll out your ears. Your first night's sleep after that is dreams of other people's lives, not of the fantastic or of the ridiculous, but of
God damn it, is he playing
watching
Roy?
how the world would be watching one person going about their day-to-day life. It's a surreal experience, but you wake up and shake it off, and you feel a little bit more like yourself. Yes, you're playing Roy in your dreams. All right. Anything you want to do before you leave town?
Stock up on provisions.
Yeah, where are we headed? Like, what's the
The watchtower is
terrain
about a
like?
day's ride away.
Ooh, can we get some horses? And also, as soon as we leave, I'm going to cast mage armor on myself and Amber Cup.
Hell yeah.
That's
Okay.
4 spell
What's
points.
the climate like where we're headed?
Oh, a day's ride away, so warm, temperate.
Good.
The funny thing is,
With a
because of the
small chance
rules,
of anti-magic snow.
Matthias could wear like 11 coats and not feel the effects because
God.
he's immune to fire.
Okay, no,
Accidentally-
that's not how it works. You can be uncomfortably warm.
That's how rules is written works. I'll be uncomfortably warm, but I won't have to make exhaustion rules because it's
No,
too
but
hot.
just because it doesn't physically hurt you doesn't mean you won't be uncomfortable. Like
Yeah, I said I'd be uncomfortable, but I wouldn't
that
be
would be
physically
like you
harmed.
could never starve to death, but you sure know what hungry is.
Exactly. I'm just saying
Why
he could. He's not going to. He's
Oh,
going
for
to
God's
wear his
sake.
robes. Just his robes. That's what he's wearing. I'm just
Okay,
saying rules as written are stupid sometimes.
And nothing
I'll
else.
give you that. They are very
Nothing.
stupid. Okay. You have you can in fact rent horses for this ride. You can rent them for a couple of days, plus provisions to. You want to totally restock your packs here. Just remember that everything in the intercities costs twice what it normally does.
We could rent a cart
Provisions.
because we have
That means a
someone who can drive it.
riveting 2 gold for rations instead of 1.
Fucking robbery.
I don't really
Yes.
need I don't need to refill my rations. I'm pretty confident me and Amber can hunt up whatever we need. Plus, we have good berry from Valthus.
Everything.
I'm gonna buy a couple flasks of oil. I need to see how much those are though, because we used a couple for my lanterns in case we need them in the dark.
Yeah,
Okay.
good point.
Yeah, so just go ahead and pull up the player's handbook or price them out, whatever you need to do. I
And
don't
then
think
double
that
it.
you're low on money.
I think it's like
Yep.
1 gold. No, it can't be 1 gold. I think it's like silver or something.
Yeah, they're pretty.
Yeah.
The
Adventuring
oil
gear.
flask is 1 silver piece, so
Alright.
2 silvers.
So Skitter came with you. He's largely buried himself in the tangled mess of robes and cloaks and
Oh, I
things like
forgot he
that.
was
But he
here.
occasionally pokes his head out of the out of your shoulder, or out of like the pile of cloth that he's dwelling in,
Oh,
to
he'll
come
have,
out, scamper up onto your shoulder, leap onto somebody else, and bury himself in their cloths.
he'll have so many weird things to crawl around inside.
He really does. You guys have a lot of stuff. On one occasion, he looked like he was climbing into the bag of holding, let out a screech of surprise and terror, and then fled, jumped off of you, and jumped onto the next person and hit them with the other.
Oh, me too.
He's precious. I love him.
You rent horses, so as far as
Well-
rations for, like, if you want to get food for today, just bill yourself, say 3 gold a person.
I'd probably ask Amber Cup if she's up for getting a cart. We can get a cart and she can drive it because
I can drive.
she has proficiency.
I'm gonna get me some more water skins, and that's about it for me. I think.
Okay, so you're gonna rent. All right, just make that a 10 gold flat rate to rent the cart and for food for the day.
So I'm down to 3,661 silver because I bought 5 flasks of oil.
The most expensive thing we've done so far is the teleportation tax.
Yep. Well, in the case of that, they bill like that less because they need it and more because you'll pay it. If you can cast any teleportation magic, you've got money. Except for Jared, the broke wizard, that asshole.
So I have 1,392 gold as well because of the 20 gold.
1392.
Alright.
Okay.
You rent the cart and set off down the roads. You've got a pretty good idea where this place was, thanks to Matthias's encyclopedic memory of history. You don't even need a map.
I am the map.
You encounter the usual, the patrols with the silver hands. They they move out of your way and give you at least a passing salute. Usually, the ones who recognize you.
I return the salute.
After having ridden saves you a lot of time. You're able to get there in sort of the allotted time, but with the slightly late start, you'll be arriving shortly after nightfall. Given the crowd, that doesn't seem like that's too bad of a thing. When it comes to dealing with cut purses and mercs, usually the nighttime is when things are most active anyway.
And as soon as the 8 hours wears off, I will cast Mage Armor on both of us again.
Okay,
So
sure.
just let me know when that happens.
That happened.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, that would have happened shortly before you arrived at the city, so you'll have it for...
Good.
Yeah. You'll have it through probably till, like, past midnight, I would guess.
I know you cut your hair and dyed it, but you may want to put your hood up, Amber Cup.
It's always up.
Is that
She
your
cut her hair
secret?
and dyed it?
It's what?
Yeah, I updated my portrait forever ago, but it just never updates in game.
It's like white now, isn't it?
Yeah, she's got the cropped silver hair now.
Holy shit. I've never seen this. I'm
Yeah.
gonna click it. Oh, I see it. Wait a minute, I have seen that. I just never noticed.
You're just a big Mike.
I bet you never noticed the dress he wore for you either. You never pay attention to her.
All right. Once you approach the city, you pull your cart up and park it out front where the stables are. You toss the stable hand another silver, and he goes and pulls the cart in and moves it over just to keep it for you. As you approach the city, Skitter pops out and starts sniffing at the air. It hops down on the ground and starts moving rapidly through the crowd.
Just to clarify, its name is Skitter and not Skeeter, right?
Yes, Skitter.
Because Skeeter, it makes me giggle.
Skeeter
there's
the
enough-
Skitterer.
It's Skitter. It's Skitter.
Skitter
I'm not
Skeeters.
gonna lie. When I heard Skitter, I was expecting like a fucking like
Spider.
palm-sized frost tarantula to come barreling out or something.
Oh, fuck that! I'd step on it. You imagine being in the city and seeing that motherfucker go crawling through the ground? Ah! Just boots. Nothing but a parade of boots.
Just latches onto someone's face, starts clicking. That's how it says hello.
It'd be my
Christ.
friend. It would be my friend, and I would love it.
Okay, you'd end up butchering everyone in town for trying to murder it.
Yeah.
Anyway. You... God damn it. Okay. You follow Skitter through the narrow passageways. You get a chance to look up, and you can see the tower from which this city, air quotes, was named. It's long since fallen into disrepair, but lights dotting the various windows throughout it indicate that there are definitely life signs in there. People are living in it. The people around you are definitely the rough and tumble sort. This is not the kind of place you would want to be if you're unable to defend yourself. In the time it took you to get here, somebody mugged the horses that dragged your carriage in. It's a tragedy.
Did they also steal the wheels in the cart?
Yeah, they're sitting on cinder blocks.
I think.
Yes.
Did they steal the
Well-
legs from the horses? They're just sitting on cinder blocks too.
Oh God!
Why?
Just take the horse.
Well, they couldn't because we
Alright.
had like a bike lock around the neck.
Someone put a boot on the horse.
Also, isn't it awesome that we have newly tailored clothing and armor and it's all shiny and stuff, guys?
I didn't think about that.
Beacons
they
of
can-
rob us here.
They can
Thankfully,
try to
Karen-
fuck with us.
Thankfully, Karen's holding my money.
See, I just like to picture like Volthus, who's always he's worn sort of the same attire for a really long time, or like the same sort of general standard. Volthus, what's your concern for your appearance?
Not much.
Not much,
Functional, really.
So if you found like your wardrobe is largely, I would assume, surplus things you found. You needed a shirt. I needed a pair of pants.
Right, and whatever usually. Well, the forest colors, somewhat camouflage.
And yeah, you get little things like after it's been cleaned up, you look down and be like, there's embroidery on this? I had no idea. It's been...
It's gotten bedazzled.
Karen, none of your clothing was ever touched by a tailor.
It was ripped. It was ripped from the beast's own hide.
The tailor's own hide.
Oh god! I make my outfit entirely out of skinned tailors. Taylor Swift. I don't know any other Taylors.
Get out of here.
Jonathan
Get
Taylor
out.
Thomas.
Taylor Swift. Yes.
Fuck
All right.
you.
I'm gonna start skinning Matthias for a new pair of boots, just
You
because.
definitely. As you step through town, you garner looks from some people and then terrified looks from others. Some recognize you, some don't. Either way, you're definitely making an impression as you stride through town.
Do we recognize anyone from a possible one-eyed elves brigade?
Give me an intelligence check to recognize anyone from his brigade from among random fucking brigands. No.
I wanted to crit again.
No.
Hey, you did
Hold-
better than me.
wait. Hold on, let me scan for any humanoids. Yeah, they're here.
Random humanoids, find none. What is this, broken? Okay, no,
aberrations.
you do a. I don't mean to. I'm not trying to like mock your
No,
choice
I
or anything.
understand. Like it's probably
You keep an
getting dark
eye
and
out
stuff.
for them.
Yeah.
You're leery and you're suspicious for good reason. By and large, there's a lot of brigands out there, and you get the feeling that the survival rate isn't great on people in that profession. Still, you keep an eye out. If he's got men around here, the closer you get to him, the more likely you are to see him. So you keep an eye out, scanning from his face. A lot of battle-scarred faces. People kind of looking, looking at you, eyeing up. They're looking for a coin purse, looking for an easy mark.
Hey, same scar.
Oh God! I just saw your post. Oh God! They're all. They're all. You know what? Never mind. Okay.
You tried to
Last, Skitter runs up onto the window of a building called the Onyx Inn. It appears to be the local tavern.
Guess we head in.
It appears to be.
It's actually
a
Raw
brothel.
Goat.
What?
Why
What?
is there a window on the goat?
This is a very weird place.
Also, sorry to derail minorly. I imagine the hotel scene was like the scene in The Wizard of Oz, except Karen's getting his organ stuffed back into him instead of straw.
There. Yes.
Well, you seem like the person who would frequent this area. You lead, Karen.
What are you trying to say?
Karen,
Sure.
I would imagine your opinion of these guys is often they're rough and tumble, but they are not warriors.
They pick on the weak. People aren't expecting it. They're scavengers, in my opinion.
They're scavengers.
But you relish beating those people up.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
You often go out to the tavern where you can find people you would enjoy beating up.
If they're stupid enough to try and start something, I got
That
no
is
problem
some
with it.
hardcore entrapment right there.
Hey, how do you think Fight Club starts? I know I shouldn't be talking about it, but I'm pretty sure Karen beats the shit out of himself. Spoiler alert.
They gotta learn that there's always someone stronger out there.
You push the heavy wooden door open and you step in. The music in the corner goes silent as everyone at the bar suddenly turns and looks at the enormous new figure walking in. You have a chance to quickly survey the room. You do not see anyone you recognize. The bartender looks at you with a kind of a steely glare, but there's definitely concern in his eyes. After a moment, the music starts back up again. The band in the corner now back to what they were doing. People slowly return to their drinks, still keeping a sidelong eye on the new visitor. Matthias walks in. A nerd! Get him!
Fireball. Nerd this. It's like Diva, except
I can't help but picture all of a sudden all these guys in fucking Letterman jackets and carry out the door and set up a set of walkers. Just so they could try and push it in. Matthias and fucking fireballs in every direction.
Actually, if they all started running after me, I'd probably just put up a flame wall and just say, "Get past that, fucker."
See, my favorite part about if you're gonna, I love evil sorcerers and dark wizards because they're the only ones that can truly punctuate the word fools. It's just.
Hey, I do know Sith Lightning. It's not a good spell, but I know it.
Derek.
I kind of know that too. Mine's just more precise.
It's true.
Ice doesn't wear glasses.
Actually, you know what? I kind of feel bad now that I realize this. I'm sorry. I feel like again, I never want to make Matthias feel like he's a butt monkey or anything like that. Because I realized that it makes sense that this is in the environment where in an environment where muscle shows, muscle is king, and who's the toughest matters. Karen, it's his place to be. In a place like the inner cities where knowledge and research and things like that is prized, Matthias still gets treated like shit because he has to deal with the Archmage, and the Archmage is a fucking asshole.
That's why I call him Archie, because I'm pretty sure he hates that.
Yeah, he fucking does. He does.
And I could kill him if I wanted to. I have
Man, let's have that showdown.
I have magic kryptonite now. And I'm immune to
Oh
fire.
my god, you're Lex Luthor.
I demand you go bald. Oh, I like the old Superman cartoon where at one point where Lex Luthor was young and he knew young Superman.
Oh yeah, and it was Superman's fault he went bald.
So he
hates the world.
He hates him and he hates the world. Because he was mixing the secret elixir to make Superman immune to kryptonite. And when it caught fire, Superman blew all the fire out, and all the chemicals, oh no, he went bald, and so now he hates Superman.
I'm glad villains are so petty. That would be Matthias.
He created a multi-billion-dollar mega industry
I'm
to
trying
get
to...
back at the guy who made him bald.
Basically, here I am using my alchemist kit, trying to make Amber Cup trying to make Amber Cup smarter, and then stuff catches fire. She uses wind wall, and now I'm bald, and now I hate her forever.
Yes.
God damn it.
Wonderful.
Why are you all like this?
I'm
All
just
right,
kidding, because
give me
obviously
1
I'm
second,
immune to fire.
guys. Take 5.
All right, I'm gonna get a drink, guys.
Why you gotta make me bald, Amber Cup?
You know what you did.
I'm pretty sure the answer to that is I exist. One day Matthias will treat someone with respect, and that day has not been since he was born.
I was gonna ask why. Why would he ever do that?
I think he respects the people in the group.
We're not people.
We're people characters, PCs. That's what it means,
We're not
right?
No, we're monsters.
So should we hunt ourselves in a world?
Oh, D&D.
I have returned.
No, you haven't.
You're right. You're all imagining it.
Good. So as soon as a bar fight starts happening, we're all just gonna fucking dance.
I'm gonna choke slam a guy through a table and into a crater.
That's
That's
a form of
dancing.
dance. Speaking of dancing, I learned today that some schools teach square dancing in gym class. Because Henry Ford is racist and didn't like jazz music.
Okay.
Basically, he spent a lot of money running a campaign to, basically a hate campaign against jazz music because he saw it as black people trying to convince white people to drink alcohol, do drugs, and have sex.
So, to
Oh.
do what they were already doing. Got it.
Yeah, basically. So he campaigned to have the schools teach square dancing and have no jazz.
Because square dancing is the most sexless of musics and dances.
Yes. And also, I learned that the original Ice Cream Truck song is very racist.
What, the entertainer? Really?
No, the actual name of it is N-word loves watermelon.
Why?
Wow.
It's like N-word loves watermelon, ha 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 ha. And then that's the lyrics that I know. And it's
Wow.
I don't understand. America, what the fuck? Why are you like this?
I don't know.
Oh, fuck.
Wow.
Yeah, apparently NPR posted about it.
Yeah, I'm reading that now.
Yeah.
Just had to immediately look it up and confirm, because what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yep.
Holy shit.
I found a link to the YouTube video, and it's, for good reasons, blocked.
Good.
Wow.
Oh, good. I would post the quotes into. Actually, no. I was gonna do it into Roll20, but then I remembered I'm recording, so not gonna do that.
Be right back again. And again, goddamn. Okay, be right back.
Learning something new every day.
You're welcome.
D&D. Why wasn't Mike here for this? This is what he misses when he walks
Because
away.
he usually watches the recordings. He'll see this, and it's bring it up like next week or 2 weeks from now or 1 month from now. Next time I play, so it'll probably
It'll
be
be
2
like
weeks.
3 months when he'll remember.
Yeah.
And then he'll remember I said this and tell me to go fuck myself. But he knows I'm right.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I have returned once again, and I still can't believe the weird shit I learned on D&D Day.
Good.
You're welcome.
I'm not thanking you for this.
You are welcome.
Also, if a bar fight does happen, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, but which one's Karen?
Yes. It depends on if Mike decides it's time to fuck with me again or not.
It's all an illusion. Fight those chains. Or that cage.
I am gonna flex hard enough to tear apart the material plane's fabric of reality. I'm strong enough to do it now.
No, you're not a fire giant.
Not yet.
Karen's new goal, become fire giant.
I'm just gonna keep on learning what a stronger variant of giant is and just use a wish spell to become one. Just over and over again.
That's why we can't take you anywhere. Don't you giggle,
Too late.
piece of shit.
I'll laugh if I want to. I'm amused.
And it is his party, so.
You're not wrong. Oh, hey, Derek.
Bless you.
I thought that was you sneezing. Anyway, after we wrap up here, think you guys can spare a few minutes to help me out with something in Dark Souls? Assuming you still have it installed.
Yes. Which one?
3.
Probably. Yes.
Yay. I need help transferring a couple things to my newbie Pyro.
Oh, you.
Hey. She needs the Onyx Blade, okay? She needs it.
Making a dark pyromancer?
I may as well, yeah. Let's see. What else do I need for that? Gonna use the parting gift flame because healing.
Eh.
No good.
What?
Oh, I was talking Dark Souls stuff with Derek.
Okay, for starters, Dark Souls is such this modern attempt to be a super hard game, and that's cool and all, but like, all it really does is draw on these super the fucking young kids are so fucking hard. I'm like, listen, I've played some hard games, and that game, it's for fucking scrubs. That's all it's good for.
You also missed some racism.
Yeah.
Don't worry. You can review it later.
Oh, good. All right, I want me being a shitty human being to be saved on camera and uploaded to the internet for all time.
Well, you're in luck. It happened.
You're in luck, friend. All right. You step inside the
Salty
Onyx Inn.
Salty spittoon over here.
Yeah, right. Actually, I thought you were gonna call it the Salty Basilica. Not a bad name.
That seems like a very large word for this town, so no.
Exactly. So,
It's a very large word for me.
Let's call it the Out Inn.
Fuck
you.
What drink you want? Keeping it to one syllable.
Something strong. Your strongest.
Oh, I think you're the strongest thing in here, big boy.
Brr.
You're
Just-
not wrong.
You're a disgusting individual, but you're also not wrong. No, you step up to the counter and he kind of goes, "Ugh, what you want?"
What you want?
Strongest drink. Right in front of me. Full bottle.
He kind of, all right, your funeral. Reaches down, pulls out a bottle off the bottom shelf, twists, unpulls, and yanks the cork out. The cork disintegrates slightly, and some falls into the bottle. He looks down at it, shrugs, and plants it on the counter. You're pretty certain that if you held a torch to the top of this bottle, that it would actually belch flames, just like stay like.
I am actually impressed by that. This town delivers.
The North
I
provides.
was waiting for, like, you finally find your mysterious magic man. He's like, good evening, gentlemen. What have you sought me out for? This, you stole from me. Not me. It's a lady. You stole a lady from me. She cries a lot. Is it because of your drinking? No.
That's a different lady.
That's a different lady.
Also,
Okay.
before I turn my insides out with this bottle, where is Skitter? Does he just follow me in, or is he just still just banging at the window?
Skitter ran up your ran up the side of your leggings. I guess he leaped up onto the side of the furs hanging from your waist. Scaled and ran up the back and is sniffing at the air, surveying the room.
I was hoping his head was sticking out of the lich's eye hole.
That is not a
Oh,
good place to hide.
that's
I like to picture anyone who
adorable.
crawls inside the lich's skull and all he hears is this ominous fucking whispering.
Adorable.
Keeps stripping and
Skitters
falling
learns
into
the
your
dark truths of
unintentionally
the
eating
universe.
Artifacts.
Ooh, whenever they took his gear, did they actually at the hotel or slash resort? Did they clean the skull?
No, they didn't touch nearly anything on Karen.
I figured.
Couldn't blame them. Could
They
not
They
blame
attempted
them.
to clean the furs, but this is. I mean, it's sort of like having. They
Diarrhea.
weren't cut or really stitched in a way that even matters. They look like newer furs, if that counts.
Sure, why not? They tried their best.
They tried. Matthias, I will say this much at least. You were impressed. You clean yourself with magic, and they somehow managed to get it to look a little bit better.
Nice.
Your prestidigitation is weak.
Mm-mm.
Mine
What they
cleans.
actually
They
do
probably touch it
Is
up.
they don't just clean it. They actually apply a fine sheen of wax to the surfaces, which gives the cloth an extra sort of reflective quality of more of a silks. And even if used on subjects like silk, it still makes them even more reflective, giving the oppressor the visual of a luminescent being. They take the same wax and apply it to the various frills and inlaid stitching to give them also a metallic quality.
That's awesome. Matthias is loving the way he looks.
Okay,
Why can't you ever do this before you go out to a fancy ball? Not before
I will
you
now.
Go into fucking Moss Eisley.
I will now.
Listen, it's just a big sign saying, "Hey, mug me," and then we get to satiate our bloodlust.
Yeah.
Bunch of guys with like spanking paddles, just like slapping their fists into their other hands. Just fucking 80s jocks everywhere. I guess, Derek, if it's 80s jocks we're dealing with, then you're surrounded by very pretty girls who are very friendly to you at first. but actually are part of like this deeply ingrained vicious cycle of trying to be the most popular person.
And also you're Lindsay Lohan.
Exactly.
No. No.
Man, that was the twist this whole game was building up to, huh?
It's why you dyed your hair.
All right, Karen, you pop open this
What was
bottle.
it you
What was
said-
it you said you were going to
Were
do
you,
before you melt your insides?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
I said you looked down at the bottle. You said there was something you were going to do before you melt your insides.
I wanted to make sure where Skitter was, just so I can keep track of him before I just probably go blind from this.
Okay, and that's fair. You turn around and look at him. He's on your shoulder, and you hear from him next to you. What's the rat doing in here?
He's with me. If you have a problem, take it up with me.
Take it up with my boot! Plant him into the floor below.
Excuse me, sir. That's a ferret.
I just like to picture this.
That's what Matthias would
This
say.
grizzly man walks up, he opens his mouth in a frown. All three of his teeth are showing. He balls his hands into fists, and he says, "Oh yeah." Well, I'm the county health inspector, as a matter of fact, and let me just tell you, that is a serious infraction. I'm going to have to lower the grade on this place an entire category. Now, I hope that you understand that the severity. And it's funny because you would treat that guy the exact same way you'd treat the guy who tried to mug you.
They all deserve it.
Sure is D&D in here.
Place is full of brigands and thugs and bureaucrats. And other near-do-wells. Okay. No, guy goes, he goes, you say, he's with me. Guy looks up at you. Just returns to his drink. That's
I'm
all.
gonna give him a.
What
I'm
about
gonna
the
give him
rest of What were you saying, Karen?
I said, gonna give him a chilly little smile and turn back to my bottle, which I am oh so tempted to just. I really
Please.
wanted to see this thing just get turned into alchemist fire or something. I am just.
Chug it all and burp a flame.
Again, I like to picture like Matthias steps forward and he says, "All right, let's just get this done and out of here." He turns back and looks at Karen with an empty bottle. Yeah, sooner it's gonna be better than later. All right,
Tired.
Volthus, Amber Cup. Yeah, we're approaching a break point soon. Volthus, Amber Cup, and Matthias. What are you doing?
Oh, I don't
Apparently
really
enter-
have any plans.
Okay, you're
I'm just gonna
sit
Sit
tight.
tight.
sit tight, unwind, and just try to stay with everybody, whatever they're up to.
I
I'd
can
probably,
be the brooding person in a hood next to everyone else.
Okay.
and I'd be inquisitively looking around for people I know, or have seen before, or
Okay. All right, Karen. So after a few minutes, you look down. You see Skitter's hopped off of your off your leg. He's not running towards anyone in the room. He's actually moved up to the wall adjacent to the bar and is sort of scratching at it. You absentmindedly take a pull from the bottle you just ordered. That's just alcohol. There's nothing else in it. There's nothing.
Pure grain alcohol.
It's pure fucking grain alcohol.
Just like
A slight
Grandma
hint
might
of
to make.
lemon.
So basically, this is just. I can just pour this directly on my wounds and just be purely,
Yes,
purely
this belongs in
sterilized.
a first aid kit. No, you to some degree you're actually a little disappointed. Normally it's like it's got no character to it. This is literally just. This is why. This is for no other reason than I hate myself.
That's what you have for.
You're not wrong.
Aw.
But we love you, Karen.
Now I'm picturing the thug
care,
bar from Tangled. Complete musical number.
I'm too sober for that still.
All right, so what's the plan?
Gotta have another wig from the bottle, set it down, and walk over to go. Words. Walk over to Skitter.
Okay. You move over to Skitter. You look down. Skitter keeps scratching at the wall, looks up at you, and continues sort of like absently scratching at the wall.
As I'm gonna kind of pick him up in my hand and lean an arm against the wall. Does it have any kind of give to it? Do I see any seams opening up as I just press up against it?
You know,
Would you like me to
normally I would
investigate?
say no, but you have the ability to push through wooden boards at this point, so how much pressure do you want to actually apply?
I'm not trying to like punch through this shit. I'm just as much as I can get away with while it looks like I'm using the wall for support to get back up.
He who throws boulders. Okay.
Would you like me to investigate in case there is a hidden door?
Yeah, sure. Give me an athletics check and an investigation check. Karen does investigation, Matthias does athletics.
Hey, you did it wrong.
I thought I rolled that 3 at first. I was gonna get very disappointed because that's not possible.
What's wrong with your D20? All right. You move
16's
over
not
and kind
bad.
you move and start following the wall down. There's a section where it's stepped behind the stairs, like behind the staircase, like you're walking around to go into the basement. And as you're pressing on the wall, you take a few more steps and put your hand, kind of like just keep subtleties kind of a little bit out the window at this point. You kind of like you're staggering a little bit, maybe looking for a place to throw up. Keep putting pressure on the walls. You hear a slight groan, and Matthias, you look over and you can see it. There's a small gap. There is definitely a secret door back here. You, however, don't see any apparent mechanism to open said door. It looks like just a section where the wall is likely to open. As you approach that region, the bartender turns and says, "What are you doing back there?"
Helping my
Keeping an
drunken
eye on the
friend.
rats.
He apparently can't hold his alcohol. Or a sterilizing liquid.
And he goes, "Well, do that outside. I ain't cleaning that up. Move!"
You move.
Okay, you have bought yourself a round. He doesn't know how to respond to that. You've got 6 seconds. What do you want to do with your time?
Pray.
There's a door here.
Skinner is still scratching on the wall.
I whisper to Karen, there's a door here. I don't know how to open it, there's a door here.
Okay.
And then I act like I'm gonna push him, try and carry him. As awkward as that looks from everybody else, a tiny man carrying a big man.
Okay. So
And then maybe you
there's
trip
a
and then
door
barrel
there.
through it.
It's made of wood. There's
I like to picture Matthias just accidentally throwing Karen through a wall.
yeah.
You
it's
know what?
honestly-
Yeah. I'll go with this. I'll do the stumble and tear the door down thing.
Is that
Okay,
like
give
dual
me a
performances?
performance.
You want a performance for
Is
this?
that for both of us? Or just him?
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
This is actually a little too perfect because I just picture Karen's like, "Oh, Karen, all you're doing is pantomiming being drunk and too strong. You are those things pretty often."
Certainly.
Whereas now I'm picturing Matthias going, "Oh no, you're so heavy! I can't hold you." It's not actually that bad, of course, but
Still laughing.
Matthias, your attempts to hold him like up in any way are underscored by the fact that he's not really trying to be held up. He stumbles over sideways, plants a hand, and basically rakes it down across the fucking wood like he's got claws. A little bit more pressure. Give me an athletics check.
I don't want to.
Yep. Your shoulder hits the wall. You plant one foot and give a slight push. You hear the groaning, splintering shards of wood. Bartender, goes, hey! You can't go back there. As the door falls flat off of its out of its position and drops to the ground. Inside, you see what appears to be 4 men. Around the edges of the room stand three what look to be kind of in a class of their own above the rough and tumble people around you. It's one thing to be sort of muscled and put together. It's another thing. It's a little bit more like the kind of look you have in your eye when you have seen some shit in your lifetime. Battle-scarred and well-used weapons. All of them. And at the table in the middle, on a rough-hewn wooden chair, sits a tall elf in an eye patch, adorned in flamboyant colors. Metzger looks up at you. Oh, hello. And that is where we will break.
I'm gonna kick your ass.
Oh. Oh, good. Queen of Hearts is here. Because his eye patch is heart-shaped, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'm gonna call him the Queen of Hearts.
This is a perfect way to meet Metzger, I think.
The Queen of Hearts, he says, well, I am descended from royalty, and he winks.
No, guys, play it off as if I broke the wall door, because I'm a barbarian.
I'm gonna shoot everyone.
I don't think your performance is that good.
How many people
Hey,
are
that's
in
my
a
performance,
20-foot
that's
radius
not my
around me?
Here is my deception. Where the fuck is deception at?
That's it. That's your deception.
Yeah, a 9, which is way better than a 4.
Yes, it is, in fact, measurably better than a 4.
Oh, Lord.
I like how I made that crit, and then every other roll has been either mediocre or bad. Except for those athletics checks that didn't count.
Sure is D&D in here.
Oh, yes. Yes, it is. Derek, we are going to resolve your goddamn arc. I
Never.
am beating you over the head with Metzger.
Quick, Derek, just rip open a hole to another plane.
Can I also
Escape.
highlight something that this is a throwback. This is a throwback from the last campaign, all the way back then. Wording mattered, because here's what happened. Whenever you paid Metzger for information, and you said, and the question was, were you the ones who wiped out my people? And he goes, nope. The other question I was waiting to see if they were going to ask, are you the one who looted their camp? Yep. Yep, he was.
This bitch.
He said he was there. He said he didn't kill people.
He was
And now
there.
we know that it was a creature that destroyed it. Karen's
It's one of those.
tribe.
It was one of those little things. It wasn't like it was. It's not like it was like, oh, look at the big secret you guys missed. No, it was really just. It had the possibility to wildly change how things played out with Karen's arc. Which I love so much because it reminds me so much of like when you're watching a series, and you'll see somebody like the lead characters walk right past somebody that you know is gonna be super fucking important later. They have an almost.
And then you
go on.
rewatch the series, and they've been there the whole time, and you shit yourself
Yeah.
with just fury.
Oh my god. Karen was Metzger the entire time.
And this is why the aboleth had me try to kill you. You know too much.
See, I just like to picture like you guys walk in there. Karen lets out a sigh. Matthias goes, I knew it. Volthus peers his head around the corner and fucking immediately Ambercup notches a bone and goes, I'll take out the other eye! I swear to God I'll do it!
But this time with lightning.
Yeah.
I love it. God damn it, guys. Well,
All right.
Ambercup,
And,
it
yep,
appears we might
I
have
had
to
a little
free
bit-
your dad soon.
I had a little bit more for this session, but we started super late. I'm sorry about that.
It's all good, man.
For all he knows, Ambercup is dead.
Bum, 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 bum. Actually,
This elf in front of me can't be my daughter. My daughter has red hair like me.
and also, I'm a fucking idiot.
Well, I mean, what's his perception? Can he even see her? Like, what's her passive stealth right now? Plus
That's
advantage.
not a
which gives-
thing.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it's why you ignore Derek all the time. His passive stealth is just so goddamn high.
I mean, passive stealth is a thing, whether or not we're using it.
Yeah. What is it? It's plus you have advantage, so it's plus another five.
Passive stealth represents the way a passive roll works.
I
is
know.
A
I'm
passive
still just being
represents
an
the
ass
repeated
about it.
use of a skill over time. It's a lot like what taking 10 was, and so it's used like taking 10 in the interest of speeding up the game. You're not instinctively invisible.
No, that's how it works.
I mean, that's
if
how
you're
passive
actively-
perception works. Is just like the baseline of what you can notice when you're not actively rolling.
Mm-hmm. So therefore, all passes are like that.
I'm
No,
always on the fence
Yes.
about them. I really kind of liked taking 10 in some cases.
We should bring that
'cause
back.
it's basically like if you're rolling stealth, you're rolling against everyone's passives.
Yes. Yeah, and that I think makes a lot of sense because especially when it comes to sneaking past people. Otherwise, it's just going to be like if I've got like 200 guards or something like that, all I'm doing is just fishing for 20s. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I think that's why they call it passive. It's like, oh, it's just they're not actively searching. It's just what they notice offhand.
Mm-hmm.
Because why would they be actively searching every time someone happens to be rolling stealth somewhere?
Lovely.
Tired.
You're tired.
I am.
You are. Fucker.
Derek, can you help me or not?
All right. And since D&D is over, I will stop the recording.
Thank you.